Sabbath day today, y'all. Y'all know how we do it. Let's get right to business. We are to turn toward holy Jerusalem, where the word of the Most High comes forth from. Men ought to uncover their head. Women ought to cover their head when praying or prophesying within the one body assembly.
That's right.
That's right. Break it down.
We hold our hands up high, y'all. We want the Most High to lift us up today, y'all, as we get about his holy word that's true.
Yes.
Without blemish, without spot, without wrinkle, but 100% truth and light.
All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer. And it is with the Most High's permission. And it is in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son.
Yes, sir.
Our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yes, sir.
And we know him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 5th chapter, it reads, "Give ear to my words, O Yahweh.
Yes.
Consider my meditation.
Yes.
Hearken unto the voice of my cry,
Yes.
my King and my Elohim.
Yes, sir.
For unto thee will I pray.
Yes. Yes.
My voice shall hear in the morning, O Yahweh. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. For thou art not an Elohim that hath pleasure in wicked, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight.
Yes, sir.
Thou hatest all workers of iniquity.
Yes.
Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. The Most High will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy.
Yes, sir.
And in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple.
Yeah.
Lead me, O Yahweh,
Yes.
in thy righteousness because of mine enemy.
Yes, sir.
Make thy way straight before my face. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wicked.
Sir.
Their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue. Destroy thou them, O Yahweh.
Yes.
Let them fall by their own counsel. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions. For they have rebelled against thee. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee.
Yes.
For thou, Master, will bless the righteous. With favor wilt thou compass him as with a shield. Hallelujah! Say God!
Like the way you read that up.
All praises to the
Holy Messiah.
Thank you.
And his unblemished word.
Box long, bro. Boy, that's how to do it. That's how the Ruach move.
Hallelujah. Yes, sir. You don't have no control over the Ruach.
None.
You can't dictate how it comes to you.
Right. Coming in a Honda.
Boy, no.
No, that ain't happening up in here.
Coming in strange doctrine.
Oh!
No.
They ain't coming in straight down.
Yeah. Don't come that way. That strange doctrine. Y'all, today's lesson.
Yes, sir.
Biblical love and happiness.
What?
Now we're going to bring some clear understanding, y'all, from more of a parable perspective of, because the Messiah spoke in parables sometimes, an earthly meaning with spiritual understanding.
Right.
So we want to make sure what you hear earthly came from spiritual first.
That's right.
Because nothing of earth, because heaven existed before earth. So we have to understand what was brought to earth was in heaven first. Thy will be done what?
On earth
As it is where?
in heaven.
So we need to understand that clearly, y'all. So y'all, we're going to get into some true biblical love and happiness and what brings that forth, y'all. And when we say one love, y'all, it's just not a smooth soliloquy.
Right.
It's just not something to say because somebody said, pray for me, we will do one love. No, y'all, when we talking one love, we got to be under the one love according to the Bible.
Yes, sir.
We can't name it agape love because we ain't seen that in the scripture. Because those who promote agape love still don't promote the law. So the Most High say, if you love me, do what?
Keep my commandments.
So there's two sides of love. Y'all may have understood this song, Love and Happiness, a little bit from Al Green. But just like every word has two sides, he's singing that song with two sides of love. And the last chorus of that song is what we're dealing with. Walking together, singing together, one love, praying together. Not at the beginning of the song, but what we're talking about is when it gets spiritual at the end, and are you listening to that? What makes love happiness?
We're talking about something that makes you do wrong.
No, we ain't talking about something that make you do wrong. That ain't true love. That love will have you chasing strange doctrine.
Yep.
See, we're going to get into a little bit more of the finishing, so to speak, parable. A song by the Moments. I found love on a two-way street. Where you going to end up on a lonely highway. And that's what usually happens when you battle two doctrines or you trying to prove tampering. You're going to find yourself on a two-way street and then end up on a lonely highway and you be the only one listening to yourself.
Yeah. That was Stacy Lattisaw just saying.
That was the remake of Young Stacy Lattisaw. But when we talking old school, me, Jeremiah, and y'all few up here, them was the Moments that come out with the original.
Yeah, you are pretty old then.
Yes, sir. Dirt. Put an ER on the end of that. So, y'all, we want to bring it from that perspective, but y'all know how we get down. We got any questions or concerns? What's going on, Theo? No questions or concerns? Let's get right to it, y'all. Biblical love and happiness, y'all. True one love that we're show to one another. Y'all know how we get down to our high priest, our one and only high priest, after the order of Melchizedek, given to him by his father. Y'all know how we do the law, y'all. It's every male, female, rich and poor, free and bond, Jew or Gentile, have to get down with the laws of the Most High God. So we don't end up on that lonely highway. John chapter 10, verse 1 through 30, y'all, we're going to get into. So we can understand what one love is. And we're going to read this. The Messiah, John recorded what the Messiah spoke on these matters. Y'all, we have to get it in our head. You hear terms like that's the old way. If the new way puts you on a lonely highway, then keep following the new way. I'm going to follow the old way because what I heard the Messiah say, I'm the same what?
Yesterday, today,
and what else?
and tomorrow.
No, he ain't said nothing about no new tomorrow. Have y'all heard anything about new tomorrow?
No.
I'm rolling with the same yesterday and today. Because the law was from yesterday, all the way back before the Garden of Eden was created. Y'all, we're talking about this one love. John chapter 10. Verse 1.
I'm going to be reading in the book of John, chapter 10, start the reading in verse 1.
And we're going to see if John talking a new way or if John talking the old way. Because John know what the fix have to be. The fix is the Garden of Eden.
Everybody there? Let's get some understanding, family. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber.
See, don't enter it by the door. The Messiah showed us the door.
That's right.
You try to come in another way, you throw a rope up and you climbing up like Batman or Shaft in his prime. You're climbing up the wrong way. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep.
Yo, so it's saying you got to come through this door. Go ahead.
To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice. And he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out.
See, and the porter at the door, and not to say a porter because he watches the door, he's the most important person in the assembly. Because who get past him cause drama for who's in the assembly.
Right.
Who's the most important person in the car? You got the driver, the president, the vice president, and the king. Who the most important person in the car? The driver. Because if he lose control, what happened to them high dignitaries? The dirt nap, ain't it? So we got a porter at the door who will ask you right to your face what cup you drink from.
Right.
It ain't hard. I drink from the cup of Messiah. Bread and wine, true hospitality, and love my brother as I love myself. That cup ain't hard to explain.
No.
If you refuse to say it, then the problem ain't with us.
Right.
You want to bring cheap liquor in here.
Uh-oh.
Brown whiskey with no name on it. It just say whiskey on the front. Beer ain't got no name, just beer on the front. No, we don't want to hear no doctrine, just say doctrine.
Right.
Who's the owner of that doctrine?
Right.
If you don't know where your paradise gonna end up, or you don't know where to tell somebody that don't believe it where they'll end up, you on a lonely highway.
That's it.
You need company.
Yeah.
Let's get some more. What else to
But
say?
you know what they say? Who love company? Misery.
Boy, look here.
Shit. What? Verse 4. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them.
What do you do?
He goeth before them. And the sheep follow him, for they know his voice.
See, so he's not behind, peeping out a wall, say y'all going out there and get in danger.
Right. Y'all go first.
Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And the stranger will they not follow.
What they will not follow?
A stranger.
Strangers don't mess with us. A stranger we won't follow. Stranger don't send us nothing we don't want to follow. Stranger, please.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Keep that for the lonely highways.
Right.
Stranger. Let's get some more.
And the stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him. For they know not the voice of
We
stranger.
know not the voice of that. What you talking?
Who is
Ain't
that?
never heard that before.
Right. Verse 6. This parable spake Yeshua unto them, but they understood not what things were which he spake unto them.
So now he's going to explain the parable like we're going to explain biblical love and happiness. Go ahead.
Then said Yeshua unto them, again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep.
So let's start over with what I said, but now spiritually. I gave it to you in earthly form. Now let's start over again. The same subject matter. The subject matter ain't cherry picked and then you commentate what you want it to be. We're going back to the subject matter like Messiah just did. He said, let's start over again. Ain't it start the same way? Let's read some more.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers. But the sheep did not hear them. I am the door.
Who's the door?
I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved. And shall go in and out and find pasture.
What he gonna find?
Find pasture.
Look, he ain't gonna find no cramped in spot. Looking for a handout, he's gonna find pasture.
Right.
Let's get some more.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly.
If you're not promoting a judgment day, If you don't believe in the resurrection, that's coming to steal and kill, because it's going to happen because you don't believe it. We're on course the same way prophecy said it is. It don't matter what new doctrine you bringing up. The mark of the beast is going to hit this planet. I don't care what doctrine you bring up. You can get on a spaceship and try to fly out of space. It's not going to stop the prophecies written. Let's read some more.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
I am the good shepherd.
What is he?
The good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
See, the good shepherd give his life for the sheep. Yes. If you have somebody teaching you and they get hemmed up and then the teacher says, well, I wasn't out there, that's terrible. Because the teacher basically then is playing Masonic games with you. And what they're doing is, I don't know if you the corrector coming to me, or they're basically saying, well, I didn't get took, you got took. You didn't show yourself studying to approve, and you leave that sheep out there by itself.
Right.
No accountability for the sheep that's following you. Well, I didn't do it.
Right.
So where did they go wrong at? Let's read some more.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
But he that is an hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming.
What he see coming?
He sees the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth.
See that? He run off.
Yeah.
When you have a runoff doctrine, it's a problem. If you're listening to a runoff doctrine, you're on a two-way street. And where you going to end up? On a lonely highway. Looking for company from somewhere. I'll accept anybody.
Right.
Who worship demons? You come be company.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the wolf catcheth them.
And what the wolf do?
Catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep. The hireling fleeth, because he is an hireling.
See, the hireling flee because he's a hireling. He's compromised.
They don't pay me enough for this.
He's compromised. The hireling is. He don't care nothing about the sheep.
No.
When somebody else got you holding their pocket, you in spiritual penitentiary. You're a hireling, you holding the pocket of the wolf. You know how they scared straight, they used to have a little girlfriend in the penitentiary hold the strong man's pocket. If you find yourself holding the pocket and you can't explain the doctrine, the hireling taught you. Quit holding the pocket. Let's get some more.
Because he is an hireling.
What is he?
He is an hireling, and careth not for the sheep.
And careth not for the sheep. Let's read some more.
I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father.
That's right.
And I lay down my life for the sheep.
See, that's what we're talking about, laying down your life for the sheep. Shalom, sis. And when you lay down your life for your brethren, that means you're going to seek his wealth.
Right.
You're going to make sure his wealth is here with yours, and you're side by side. We have the same amount of spiritual money in our pocket. That's how two can walk together and agree. But if you got one up here and one down here, and he ain't the shepherd, he the hireling, and he up here over you, and you chasing the hireling,
holding his pocket.
boy, you like a dog chasing his tail.
Yeah.
You soon gonna get dizzy. Let's get some more.
What greater love hath a man than to lay down his life for his friend?
Boy, look here. And y'all, we ain't talking about just stepping in the way of a bullet.
No.
We're talking about if bro, we got to stand here, that's what we got to do. I'm riding with you right here, and we'll wait on this true shepherd. Come on. I'll lay down my life with you, bro.
Right.
We'll go to the grave believing this.
Right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
What he say he got?
Other sheep that I have, which are not of this fold.
Right.
Them also I must bring, And they shall hear my voice.
And what they shall do?
They shall hear my voice.
Uh-huh.
And there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
See, so when the Messiah sent people out, he sent them out, he said, go to all nations. First to Israel, and then go to all nations. Y'all, we got Gentile families that know and understand and believe it's true. They understand what the prophecies say. And shouts out to our Eric out there. He know who I'm speaking of. And all of our sister Ruths and our brother Cornelius is out there. We understand you have to be a part of this fold for the prophecy to be completed correctly.
Exactly.
If you're not there, then the hireling is going to have all Israel doing the same bit and then a runoff on them. Can't be found.
If it's only Israel that's going to get the kingdom, what is that out of court for?
Boy, look here. What is it for?
Is it a garden?
Look, if all 12 tribes came out of Egypt, who's the stranger that joined amongst us?
Right.
Why you take and preach the word to all nations?
Boy, look
Exactly.
here. So, y'all, we're going to get into that, y'all. We're going to get into what love and happiness is, because you don't have true happiness if you feel like you're being forced to worship somebody or to allow somebody in. But we understand clearly you'll be brought to jealousy. And that's what he said, I'm going to do. I'm going to go get another people who will hear me. Y'all don't hear me.
Right.
It's like the child that see his mama come, y'all playing marbles. He see her struggling with grocery. He peep up but keep playing marbles. You wasn't trained that way, so you get up and run to help his mama. Then here he come want to move you out the way. Man, get out the way, this my mama. And she looking at it.
Hit him with this morning.
Boy, look here.
Then this forehead.
Right.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
Therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I may take it again.
That's right.
No man taketh it from me.
See, the Messiah didn't plead out. He didn't say, no, I didn't do it. He didn't say, okay, what's the lowest sentence I can take? He laid down his life. He said, I must do this. Pilate said, I find no fault in him. Right. I'm washing my hands of this crime against this innocent man. What you got back there, Sister Karen?
Moving back to verse 16, where there are other sheep that are not of his fold. Is that the Sunday keepers that truly have a heart after Christ that have been misled by false doctrines?
No, there are people that come out of that. Right. See, whether they're Jew or Gentile. You know, but a fold is a group of people, and we're going to get into that fold, who that fold is. You know, when Peter had his vision in Acts 10th chapter, and when most preachers use that to say that means you can eat pork, Peter rise, kill, and eat. But when you get to verse 28, he said, now the Lord hath shown me not to call any man common or unclean that want to hear this word. Because you see, people, Gentiles used to stand outside the temple. And when the Pharisees and the Sadducees didn't want to hear the word of God, the Gentiles were saying, we will hear it, will you preach it to us? And they say, you're right, we will preach it to you. If they don't want to hear it, that's what Paul said in the 18th chapter. He said, I followed y'all first. And y'all wouldn't hear me. Lo, I turned to the Gentiles.
What I meant is, just like when I was Sunday keeping, then there are other people like me that were searching for the truth.
Right.
That I wasn't a part of this group, but that we truly had a heart after wanting to know the truth.
Right.
And that some of us left the church, the Sunday keeping, left the Seventh-day Adventist keeping, and that's why my question was that, because I pray for the other people that are being misled like I was.
Right, and see, and what happens is, that's how you determine if you're following the sheep, because what happens is they'll only take one part of the sheep teaching. Like Seventh-day Adventists, they say, we will keep the Sabbath. but they don't keep feast days. You know, you got Baptists who are baptized, but they won't keep the feast days or the laws. You got Pentecostals who teach the only way is to speak in tongues when they name 8 other gifts. And they say this is the only way. Yes, it's a gift, but it's not the only gift. Right. You can't promote it after the only gift, and that's called the Pentecostal doctrine. But yet, they don't never do the Feast of Pentecost.
But see, I think what Sis is saying is that...
I understand what Sis is saying. That's where we came out. But they have to come out of that another fold. See, the original fold is Israel and the 12 tribes. Another fold will be another group or another nation of people that hear this truth. That's the other fold. Right. You have to remember this is not religion-based, it's nation-based. And every nation get the same commandments, laws, statutes, and judgment because that's what Noah gave Ham. He gave him all of the commandments. And he gave them to Japheth, the same commandments. And he gave to Shem the same exact commandments to teach. So everybody on planet Earth would teach the same commandments, not separated commandments. Ham broke the commandment getting off right after getting off the ark, and it filtered downstream to his children. Even his great-grandson Nimrod, who was a follower of the Lord, and then got high-minded and got beside himself and fell off. But he's a descendant of Ham. Japheth has his descendants. He's the father of all the islands. The Eskimos, Aborigines, the original island people, the Hawaiians, the Indonesians, and then you got Shem, who's the original father of the so-called Afro-Asiatic group of people, whose father happened to bore a nation called Esau, that a white nation came from a black man. So to speak, if we want to use it in those terms. But you cannot get Caucasian people getting on that ark. And I'm not meaning that from any disrespect level or anything. I'm just saying you're going to struggle with trying to put them on the ark and make them Russian today. They were not the original Russians who's over there today. They moved in them lands and moved them out. Who had Alaska first? The Eskimos, didn't they? Who had the Australia? The Aborigines, didn't they? Right, yeah. Who had Hawaii until Gilligan got there? Because every time you watch Gilligan's Island, who were the original people that ever come out that they call savages? It was them Hawaiian people, wasn't it? They either have bones in their nose and they basically saying, we're shipwrecked and lost, but y'all still beneath us. No, you on our island.
Well, now, let me ask you this. Now, it's like Sis was talking about the people that are still in the churches, but you have people in the church that truly believe that they're doing what the Most High wants them to do. They're fully convinced that they're doing the right thing by sitting under these pimps in the pulpit. But if they give up the ghost, it's written that the Most High judges the intents of the heart.
That's right.
So as long as even though they're being bamboozled and led in the wrong direction, is there still an opportunity for them to see the kingdom?
Yeah, because even as slaves, when you were, y'all have to think about how far this goes back. You still got an advantage, what we're talking about. But I'm talking about if you got caught reading, your tongue was, if you talking about your tongue was cut out and eyes were poked out. So they don't have the advantage that people in the church got today. Because you could be caught reading this. Or you got your eyes put out. So now where does the law apply for them? Well, it applies just what it says. They're being fruitful and multiplying. Actually, they were in better shape than most of today because most of them were married slaves. So the children they were producing, the children just was snatched out of their grip. But they will be judged according to the natural law, where it says, but the Most High say, I didn't send you into captivity for you not to know. Nat Turner figured it out. He just took vengeance in his own hands. But he figured it out. The slave master knew he figured it out. Because the Most High say, my word ain't going to go back. I'm not going to send you to captivity and my word not be there. So those who are in the church truly understand what's going on. But it's just that one little piece of the shepherd that they may know, no, he didn't teach that right. But yet, because there's a respected person in that doctrine, they didn't challenge it. But in their heart, because you're in the image of God. That means the manual you got, every man, woman, and child got this manual put in their soul. Automatically. It comes with the body.
Yes, sir.
What happens is, you got a Cadillac manual, and you try to run it with a Ford Pinto manual you done replaced in your thing. The fuses don't line up. The wrong instruction. This said the sunroof, you ain't got no sunroof. What you got over there, bro?
So like one thing they were saying, the Christian people, so if they go their whole life and they don't come in contact with one of us, and they don't hear the truth, and they live righteously to the best of their ability,
right?
Then they can still get the kingdom. But what if they hear the truth, but just ignore it?
Well, that's what he said. We're not destroyed for lack of knowledge. We're destroyed for what? So it's not like this word is not being presented to them. So even on the plantation, the slave master didn't teach us the Quran, did he?
No.
What did he teach us? He taught us the script. He had us reading what he wanted to do. But as long as the book was open, we had our direction.
But now, didn't they have a slave Bible that they had took certain parts out of just for the slaves?
Well, we're talking about that abolitionists. That was a whole group that retrained us. Mm-hmm. So the Most High gonna never leave. That's why he say don't abhor an Edomite,
right,
or an Egyptian.
Right.
Remember, you were slaves to them. I'm gonna put certain ones in place. The Aborigines taught us the scriptures. Right. The Aborigines was sitting at the kneecaps of Nat Turner. Y'all know who John Brown is?
Yeah. I don't.
John Brown led the brigade, or what we call the John Brown Brigade. Yeah. You hear Jacob holler a lot. And that say his kneecaps could sit under his table before one of them rogue Negroes running these camps out here. And these ones out here sick, tripping. Mm-hmm. He said John Brown could sit under my table because he told him and his children, these are the children of God. You give your life for them. And they did. Yes, see what he said? And they did. So that fold he's talking about, that no matter what position, what did Cyrus the Persian do for us? Let us go back home and do what? And there's still proof of that called the Cyrus cylinder. And the Most High say, he's my friend, Cyrus of another fold. Y'all understand what we're saying? Exactly. So we ain't never been in a position that where we couldn't get the word. Go ahead, bro. And look, how many of us in here now say, you know, my grandmother used to say, she said we was the Jews, but I never paid no attention to her saying that. Look, it's known, y'all, because it comes with the image of God. That's in your soul. These laws, statutes, and judgments is in your soul. It's just the devil tries to get you double-minded. He tries to get you on that lonely highway.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw an episode of Huntsville about 6 years ago, and they had John Brown riding into town. He had a Bible in his hand and a pistol in the other.
Yeah.
And he was cracking the whip, talking about y'all got to free these Negroes,
yeah,
children of God. And they black and white. And I'm like, what? Yeah, John Brown, I just learned about him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been out here.
Look, they got a movie about John Brown. His son was on a train with some Israelites, and the Ku Klux Klan jumped on there. His son jumped off and ran back and told him, I came to get you, cause the Klans got on. He said, you left God's children on there? You got off the train? Boy, he went back, boy, I'm talking about, I ain't seen a pimp slap like this boy since.
The Mac.
No, powder them. You know that boy, Mike Epps and that other boy that he dumping powder in his mouth. I ain't seen slapping like that, boy. And he slapped his son and told him, don't you ever, you give your life for this people, y'all. So we understand he never put us in a position like that, like Joseph in Egypt.
Right.
Pharaoh told him, bring all your family here, man. Set them up over in the best spot. It was another Pharaoh that rose up that didn't know Joseph. That's what changed the course on everything.
Right, and that's now that verse 16 is just like Sis was saying about the other fold. Already the Messiah is putting claim to him, possessing to him.
Yeah.
And he says, and of the sheep I have,
Yeah.
which are not of this fold,
Right.
them also I must bring.
Yeah.
And they shall hear my voice, and they shall be of one fold and one shepherd.
That's right, because that's what it'll end up being. It's one process. It's
Right.
a Godhead. If your doctrine forces you to say they can't be there, then you're leapfrogging. You're following hireling doctrine.
Right.
If you have service, he gave you an example how Eleazar and Abraham was. Eleazar was a Syrian, but he loved Abraham like he was from his own loins. Abraham even thought that he was of the other fold when he said, "You gonna have a son." He say, "Who, Eleazar?" He like, "No, out of your own bowels." I know Eleazar is like a son, and that son was trusted to go get Rebekah for Isaac. And he followed orders to the letter. He told him, "I'm here for this many days. She got to make up her mind, or I got to get going." No, can't stay till tomorrow. She's got to make up her mind because my master gave me orders. Y'all understand this ain't hard to understand who that other fold is. Go ahead, bro.
Isaiah 56:6.
What it say?
Also the sons of the strangers.
It's the sons of the who?
Of the strangers.
Uh-huh.
That join themselves to the Lord.
Uh-huh.
To serve him.
To do what?
To serve him.
Uh-huh.
And to love the name of the Lord.
Right.
To be his servant.
Uh-huh.
Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it.
Uh-huh.
And taketh hold of my covenant. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain. And make them joyful in my house of prayer.
Uh-huh.
Their burnt offering and their sacrifices shall be accepted
Uh-huh.
upon mine altar.
Right.
For mine house shall be called a house of prayer for all people.
So y'all have to understand that scripture didn't change whose name's written on the gate. What's written on the gate is the promise to you. And we understand the promise Abraham was given, and that promise would never be broken. It said those 400 years and what Moses was given on Mount Sinai cannot annul the promise. It's not going to break the promise he made, because our God is not a God who would lie. Nor that he would have to even tell you, I know I said that, but I trip with y'all. I'm changing my mind. No, he ain't never done that. He said, I promised it to you, to your offspring. That still must come to pass. And notice the Messiah, Paul, and everybody spoke of the promise of Abraham. They didn't speak about nothing new beginning or no old way. They say the promise. That's how old this gift going back to Abraham. The promise. Y'all, we got to get it understood.
Yeah.
If you complain about your auntie won't hear it all the time, why is you won't let another nation who wants to hear it? That means you're chasing flesh and you're not chasing spirit. He said you have to worship him in spirit and what? True. Not in flesh. And hireling. Let's get some up.
All right, we're in the book of John, chapter 10, and now we're at verse 18.
Yes, sir.
No man taketh it from me,
Uh-huh.
but I lay it down of myself.
Right.
I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father.
So the Messiah said it was a commandment that he received, that he could lay his life down and take it up again. Yo, is this written in red?
Yep.
I don't care nothing about no outside doctrine that's written in purple, green, or yellow, no other color you highlighted. Don't mean nothing to us. This is red because it's blood writing. It's the blood of Messiah talking to us. You got to get this blood in you, this pure blood that will not corrupt. I don't care what other doctrine you use. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care who you have on a picture with you. You're going to die. Just like the people before you.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
There was a division, therefore, again among the Jews for these sayings.
So y'all understand who, there was a division behind what he said. Who was it amongst?
The Jews.
So it's amongst Israel. So when he said, I'm going to bring another fold, they like he bringing in an outside group. So that lets us know it's not about doctrine, but about nationhood.
Right.
See, because it ain't just no church of the Jews or no church of the Gentiles, so to speak. It's nationhood. It's always been nationhood. It ain't never been a man-made doctrine that you can call on because it traces its origin back. Like John Taze Russell, the founder of the Jehovah's Witnesses, who was a 33rd degree Freemason who is buried under a Masonic tombstone. A pyramid is his tombstone. Y'all look up Charles Taze tombstone, who had 2 false prophecies of the end of the world. 2 of them. But yet he still got the product of hireling product on the street still. Pumping his doctrine with their own version of their doctrine. The Jehovah's Witnesses got their own Bible. Ishmael was given Abraham's commandments. And Abraham gave Ishmael the commandments that he gave to Isaac. Ishmael had the same commandments, but then they get a new prophet. A hireling come up with the Quran and those books. Those are hireling books. Who got some back there? Go ahead, Theo.
I said one of the main purposes of the Most High having a special people is to be a light to the Gentiles.
That's right.
To lead them to other people to serve them. Right. It is kind of the whole, because before the flood, there was no people.
Right.
It was just whoever will. So since people like to look at idols and stuff, the Most High said, you know what, I'm going to have something they can look forward for me. And since I'm going to live there, they're going to be a people.
Yeah.
Through my relationship with their people,
Yeah.
I'm going to show these other nations how to serve me. I'll protect them, I'll provide for them, I'll see about them, I won't let them down. And so you're supposed to use our influence to influence other nations. We already do, but we just do it negatively.
Exactly.
That's what we do. We're like, boy, that's so powerful. We do it. We influence the other nations, but it's on a negativity level.
Exactly.
They copy us in our most wicked mode. They got us thrown out of Jerusalem. And then we get mad at them for copying us. All they doing is showing us what the Most High said do. I'm going to send you to somebody that do exactly like y'all do. And y'all going to be provoked to jealousy. No, but why we're not provoked to jealousy through righteousness, but we're provoked to jealousy through our most wicked ways. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
And many of them said, he hath the devil.
What has he?
He hath the devil
Uh-huh.
and is mad. Why hear ye him?
Uh-huh.
Others said, these are not the words of him that hath the devil. Can a devil open the eyes of the blind?
See, can the devil open up eyes of the blind, or will he ever? No. Never. He wants you to stay in darkness, especially spiritual darkness. When you hear somebody saying they're healing and they're using blindness to do it, you still blind. You're not healed. You've been tricked to believe because I'm healthier now, I'm not going to die. And if I call myself God, that guarantees I won't die. But every time you look in the mirror, you doing your face like this, trying to see what it'll look like if I was 18 again. Even on this new healthy diet I'm on, you still doing like this. Because you know what? That can't do nothing about the heart that's ticking in your chest. It's still the same age. Them kidneys still the same age. And ain't nothing you can do to reverse aging. It's called Father Time. And it's going to catch up with you. It's a race you can't win. You can take off running 100 miles an hour, but Father Time will walk you down at the finish line. Let's get some more, y'all.
Verse 22.
Yeah.
And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter.
So when this thing was taking place, we was doing the feast of dedication. Now, seeing what we talked about, sister, in church, that would be just skip right over. And Christmas will replace that. See, but nobody would raise their hand, Pastor, what is the Feast of Dedication? Something you don't need to know about or worry about.
That's that old tradition.
That's that old tradition. We on some new stuff.
Right.
We on Santa
Right, that's what
Claus.
I'm saying.
Those who need to know, look it up. It's G1456.
Yeah. Y'all, so it's telling you the time period what was taking place. So right now what we got strife and debate by other groups at a feast day. Isaiah 58 we're going to get into, y'all. We're into our fall feast coming up. We got trumpets, we got atonement, we got tabernacles. Then we got the Feast of Dedication coming up. So y'all, we're getting ready to get into them feasts. It's time to get your mind right. So that you don't go into these feasts complaining. You don't use Isaiah 58 as saying what you can't do on the Sabbath day. And don't understand Hebrews 4. We seeking that other rest. We tired of this rest that only lasts 48 hours.
Right.
Then you got to hit it back again and you grumbling. Hell, I didn't even get no rest and it's Monday already again. For those of you who follow 110.5 and not an infidel, if you're able to work, you ain't even worried about what we saying on that end because shit, you've been resting for 7 days. How you even talking about the Sabbath? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You yawn and stretch like this just to lay down again. Go ahead.
Verse 23.
Yeah.
And Yeshua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, How long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be Hamashiach, tell us plainly.
See, they was tired of waiting, and what happened is he wants you to see his light. Not just to tell him I'm the light, then you're going to worship me because I told you. You need to see the promises that were written about me. You need to see the gifts that I will produce and then pass on to you. I can't tell you I'm him because you're going to just tell everybody, then everybody going to be following me looking for a gift. You see what I'm saying? Tag alongs.
Right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 25.
Yeah.
Yeshua answered them, I told you.
What'd he say?
I told you. And ye believe not.
He like, look, I already done told you. I told you by showing you.
Right.
Go ahead.
The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you.
And who was that asked that original question? Who was he talking to? And he talking to some sect trippers? Them Israelites he talking to, the Jews brought this to him. We want to ask you some questions, some hard questions.
Verse 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me.
That's right.
And I give unto them eternal life.
Not temporary. We don't care about no temporary. What did he give us?
Eternal life.
Yeah.
And they shall never perish. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
Yo, look, when you rooted and grounded and know who your shepherd is, nobody can pluck you out of his hand.
That's right.
Because you first must believe and put your soul on the line that is the truth, or don't even come this way. Because Hebrews 6 says, it's better that you had never known this walk than to turn your back and head down a two-way street and end up on a lonely highway. Because you're going to be by yourself. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 29.
Yeah.
My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all. And no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand.
See, so when you hear this doctrine about Paul's and pen of the scribes and the Bible been tampered with, that means they have authority. They can pluck you out of his hands at that point. Because you don't trust what the shepherd is saying to you. You ready to be plucked.
Right, they trying to create doubt.
Yeah. It's a plucking doctrine.
Get the pluck out of
Yeah,
here.
and look, yeah. Look, that doctrine that they pluck you on the head like this, just so you understand. That's all they do is pluck you on the head. Go ahead.
At verse 30.
That was a good one though, brother.
I tried.
Go ahead. Shalom, Mark.
Shalom, bro. I and my Father are one.
What is him and his father?
They are one.
Uh-huh.
Do you want some more?
Yeah, I want all the way down where we at.
At 30?
30, go and get me down to
42?
yes, sir.
Verse 31.
Yeah.
Then the Jews took up stones again to stone
Who
him.
taking up stones again?
The Jews.
See, they're taking up stones right now against the Messiah. If you hear strange doctrine, taking Judgment Day out. If you're hearing strange doctrines, agreeing with doctrine you never believed before, and now you're agreeing and you watering it down to a situation like, well, you know, he is not saying that he's something super special. He just never seen. Well, that should be 20 or 30 other people you can name. So you take away what's prophesied about this individual that makes him our high priest, and you water him down to a man, to a hireling.
No.
Let's read some more.
Verse 32.
Yeah.
Yeshua answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do ye stone me?
See, so he asked him, look, I did the works, I showed you works. I wasn't just spout out at the mouth.
Right.
I showed you good works of my Father. Name the one you're going to stone, put me to death for. Name the one you're going to put me to death for. Go ahead.
Verse 33.
Yeah.
The Jews answered him, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou being a man makest thyself God.
And see, the Messiah always answers. He trains
Hey,
us.
boy,
Study to show yourself out. Shalom, Mother Richard. There he is, y'all. Rich back in the fold.
Yes, all praises to the
Yes,
Father.
Let's get some more.
Verse 34.
Yeah.
Yeshua answered them, is it not written in your law, I said ye are God?
And who said it?
He said.
He said, I said you are gods. It's written in your law. I gave those laws to Moses.
But
That
that's a
was
little
me.
G. That's small G.
Yeah.
not big G.
So we see here that the Messiah said the very laws y'all reading, I'm the one that wrote them. I'm the one that the Most High showed Moses my back parts. That was me. And it's true it was him because he told him again. I know Abraham, and they understood it from what he was saying. They like, how you know Abraham and you ain't 50?
Right. They want to kill him.
He said before Abraham was, I am. I'm in Genesis 1:26. Let us make man. That's the one. Still the one, and you got to find who else it is. You know, these strange doctrines don't believe in angels. They don't believe in the resurrection. They don't even have a judgment that they show up that they going to.
Wow.
They don't have a punishment for you. If I never take hold of these strange sect doctrines, what's my punishment? I don't know. If you keep them, what's your paradise? Trying to figure it out. No, keep that new thing. I'm going to stick with the old thing. A big old what?
Verse 35.
Yeah.
If he called them God, unto whom the word of Yah came, and the scripture cannot be broken.
What can the scriptures not be?
It cannot be
They
broken.
cannot be broken. You can't talk about the Messiah and then say the scriptures are broken by the pen of some individual writing. But if you cherry picked and you're being plucked up, you're going to be told to get the
Pluck out of it.
out of here. Go ahead.
Verse 36.
Yeah.
Say ye of him whom the Father has sanctified.
Who do the sanctifying?
The Father has sanctified. and sent into the world. Thou blasphemest, because I said, I am the son of Yah? If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not.
Look, that's as simple as it gets, y'all. This is not rocket science. Y'all read, y'all got all of what Isaiah said about me. Just tell me what I did different, what's written about me, and then y'all the winners. Show me where the Bible's tampered at, and y'all the winners. But it's impossible for you to draw me into knuckleheadism. How you gonna prove it to me out of what you don't believe or trust?
Right.
That's an oxymoron. If you don't believe it, how you gonna prove it to me? You're gonna prove to me what you don't believe. You're gonna prove it to me out of the book that I believe, and I'm gonna sit there and listen to you do it,
And then believe it.
and then believe it.
Come on, man. Say it ain't so.
Boy, look here. I got beachfront property on Cobrillion. I can sell you if you believe that.
Well, they did just have a heavy rain.
I said the beach, not the ocean. Go ahead.
Verse 38.
Yeah.
But if I do, though ye believe me not, believe the works, that ye may know, and believe that the Father is in me, and I in him.
So, y'all, we see clearly, he said, look, you ain't got to believe it's me or my name. Just watch what I do and tell me who else doing it like this. Who else running it like this? You Pharisees ain't doing it.
Right.
Y'all in pure hustle mode. You can't deliver the people. If you was, you wouldn't be trying to trick me up. You would be enlightening me. Brother, don't go that route.
Right.
You're not the Messiah because of this, but you're concerned that they reckon your money game. That's a problem for us, the words you talk.
Yeah.
But look, they consort among themselves. Can a blasphemer cast out, make the blind see? How does that work? We ain't never been able to do it. Our top magicians over here can't do it. Hell, remember Moses' staff ate up theirs.
Right.
So we know throughout the writings that they ain't got a leg to stand on, but everybody like chasing what's not good for them.
Right.
Because it's wickedly sweet. It tastes good for a moment till you sitting on the toilet, then it burns. Let's get some more.
Verse 39.
Yeah.
Therefore, they sought again to take him, but he escaped out of their hand.
Yes, sir.
And went away again beyond Jordan,
Right.
into the place where John at first baptized, and there he abode. And many resorted unto him, and said, John did no miracle.
What did John do?
No miracle.
John didn't do no miracle, so let's take him off of is he that prophet?
Right.
Go ahead.
But all things that John spake of this man were true.
See that? What he spake of it is the truth. Go ahead.
And many believed on him there.
See, it's clear. Look, John ain't him, but what John said about him is the truth. You got a group out here saying John went off. He didn't know he was Elijah. And John said, and this is based off of the Pharisees asking the Messiah, well, if Elijah was truly coming back, why you say this about John? He said, truly, John the Baptist was Elijah, meaning he came in the spirit. John told you, I am not him that you think over here. I'm the one crying in the wilderness. And they say, he don't know what he's talking about either. Ain't that strange, y'all? This is how you tell that hireling doctrine. They never go off the words out of the original people's mouth. They go off of hearsay. So it's a tail-bearing doctrine. It's a busybody doctrine. Why don't you go to what we normally say, get it straight from the horse's mouth?
Right.
Why would you go get it from two mules somewhere else? Go ahead, what you got about that topic?
Are there charges attached to that?
The what?
To that putting out that false information?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, they know what it is. Everybody know what it is. Look, even when you were in church, if you were going to church regularly and you got bad outside of church or wherever, or anything Israelites around here, next time you say, man, I got to get back and get some word because I'm off course. And then they tell you everything that's going wrong with them, you don't even have to give him any scripture. They've already told you what's wrong with them. I ain't been doing this. I ain't been studying my Bible. I've been chasing hirelings. I've been a chief buddier most of my life. I've overdone my swallow wine, and I just done went too far. And you just be sitting back looking like, well, I don't have the power to give you eternal life, but I'll repeat the same old scriptures to you again if now you've chased the new way and you're back to the old way of teaching again. I'll repeat the old way again because that's all I've been instructed to do. Right?
Right.
Let's read some more.
We're going into the book of Sirach.
Yes, sir.
Chapter 25. Looks like we'll start the reading there at verse 1.
Y'all, because we're trying to understand what one love means. We just saw the Messiah say, my Father and I are one. My sheep hear my voice, we are one. So now we need to see what pleases the Most High. And no man is able to pluck us out of his hand. Satan ain't never said the Bible is tampered with. I'm waiting for a chapter and verse and been waiting on it a long time where Satan says the word of God is tampered with and don't trust it. Satan ain't never did. No. He always asks you, what God tell you? And you know when Satan always come? As soon as salvation hits you. He wants to see if you appreciate the gift you got or will you disrespect the gift of God. And if you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, there's no forgiveness in this world or the world to come. He's not worried about these little side deals. What he needs you to do is get that truth and then blaspheme that truth. And then I got you because you can't be pardoned anymore. And y'all have to watch these hireling doctrines because they're trying to make sure you blaspheme the Spirit like they may have. Once you take judgment out and you say the truth of God, not only this, but you go a bit further and you start teaching the law is no more. Let's read some more.
We're going to be in the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, in the Apocrypha.
Yeah.
Reading in chapter 25, and we'll start the reading in verse 1. Let's get some understanding, family.
Let's get it.
In 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before Yah and men.
Y'all look here. When you stand up beautiful before Yah and men, y'all, and beautiful just ain't smiling, you know, like I done really did something, you know. Like in Don't Drink Your Juice in the Hood when we thought Marlon was cooking up cocaine, but he was baking a cake. Not that kind of before me. Go ahead, bro.
The unity of brethren.
What is it?
The unity of brethren.
Not the brunity of brethren. Right. That mixes all bunch of doctrines together and say we can coexist.
Right.
You can't.
You can't.
If you did, you'd be existing now.
Right.
Go ahead.
The love of neighbor.
The love of what?
Of neighbor. A man and a wife that agree together.
See that? A man and a wife that agree together. Not ordered to agree. Not hit upside the head to agree. Not a boot thrown at you to agree.
Right.
Not threatening that I'll go get white women to get you to agree.
Right. Not the white woman.
Boy, they threatening now with that.
Oh boy.
Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 2.
Let's get down to it.
3 sorts of men my soul hates.
See, now the Messiah say this done cut me to the bone. I hate these type of individuals. Let's read.
And I am greatly offended at their life. A poor man that is proud.
A poor man that is proud. Y'all understand what that means? It's called poor man's pride. You know you struggling. But see, it said a poor man, not a beggar. You got a job, but you too proud to ask for help. Reason may be in, and then you really suffer, and then you got to end up asking somebody for help, and now it's more drama because you're going to end up saying, I could have just came to you. Yeah, bro, you could have just come, and this matter would be solved. But you have what's called poor man's pride, and that's to the point that where you won't ask for spiritual enlightenment. Boy, look here. Because what it does is, it will make somebody that don't understand these scriptures a child twofold more of hell than yourself. Because now they have poor man's pride. They can't prove what you just taught them. They just point and say, go watch the video.
Right.
Just watch the video. That's poor man's pride. He's talking riches that he don't even have in his own pocket. All he can do is point at the video. Where's the richness inside of it? So you hang on, and yet you still ain't got no spiritual riches in your pocket. Poor man's pride. You won't turn away from what's right in your face that's going to make you spiritually rich, and you chase fleshly rich, which is going to die. And they'll put your favorite items in your coffin with you. Ain't that what they did with the pharaohs?
Yeah.
Put all their favorite items with them in there. They put everything you like in there, your armbands, your headbands,
You know, I remember.
your studded thongs you wear when ain't nobody looking.
I saw a story in the Jet magazine years ago where they buried a dude in his car.
Boy, look here. He said they buried a dude in his Cadillac. Yeah, we seen that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the first person that started that was Ronald Jones on Riverview. He was the first one that did a man standing up in a coffin because the man didn't want nobody looking down on him. You dead.
Right.
You don't know anyway. You can't see who at the funeral. That's poor man's pride. You dead. When you dead inside, how are you proud of being dead on the inside? You don't have the law of God, so you what? You dead, you can't live. That's poor man's pride. Most High say he hate that. Man, don't bring that noise to me. And the next thing, when something happens, oh, Jesus help. Okay. Poor man's pride again. You think you can dig in your pocket and find some money at that hour. It's like when you get up to the front of the line and you realize it's a cost, but your boy ain't there at the door to get you in. Why you doing like this?
Right.
Wasn't nothing in your pocket when you was in line. And you gonna do this at the door. Like, I had a 20 here somewhere. Go ahead, bro. It's crazy. Go ahead. What else he don't like?
A rich man that is a liar.
A rich man that's a what?
That is a liar.
Y'all see why Donald Trump is having so many problems? He still believed the election was fixed against him. But the same system put him in power. And it wasn't broke. He never mentioned it.
Right.
But he keep lying on everybody around him. And if you don't agree with him, like his vice president, he say somebody need to go down there and kill him. I got your back.
Right.
And then put his hands up like this and say, I ain't did nothing wrong. A rich man that's a liar. Let's get some more.
And an old adulterer that doted.
And an old adulterer that doted. You in the club with change in your pocket and loose underwear on and tight slacks, sitting at the bar, whistling at young women. Come here, Heifer. Come here. You a skeezer. You a skeezer. Come here, skeezer. You need a Pepsi?
Got a pen on.
One piece of double mint.
The piece of double mint. Doted means you just participating in get the word from doted. That's just you're out of sync, so to speak. You're trying to use your pimp game that you had when you was 20. It don't work the same now. The things you did then you can't do now. You can't break down in the club like you used to do that. You do this every dial at 911. Don't nobody touch it. And you just like this on the floor when they get there. You can't do those moves no more. Right. You stanky legging and now you need a crutch. Get doted for me real quick, y'all. Anybody, so we get some understanding, because like I say, If you don't know what a word is and you read the next verse, then you lost that understanding. With all you're getting, get what?
Get understanding.
Somebody give me donuts.
To love an excessive or foolish degree.
To love to an excessive and foolish degree. An old fool, an old adulterer that doeth.
Right.
You 70 and still talking about, hey girl, loving you is wrong. I don't want to be right.
Still,
You want a Pepsi?
you say still think you got it, huh?
Still think he got it.
Well, you see how that young girl
You see how the young gal looked at me?
Yeah, that's because your pants so damn tight,
Tight,
Bob.
right.
Like you're smuggling chilies up in there.
Go ahead, bro.
That's a definition. I got one that says to be silly or feeble-minded, especially as a result of old age.
Feeble-minded. You think I'm old and you're still feeble-minded. Feeble-minded.
Old age.
In your old age, you're like, what the hell? What are you doing in here?
To be delirious.
To be what?
To be delirious, to have the intellect impaired by age, so that the mind wanders or wavers to be silly.
To be silly, y'all. You look silly up here. They don't even wear that material no more. That's polyester with a cuff in it, this big. Right,
Yeah.
boy, look here. Go ahead, y'all. Let's get caught up.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth,
Y'all listen to this.
how canst thou find anything in thine age?
Read it again.
If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thine age?
Look, y'all. If you ain't stacking up even spiritual wealth, what you expect the Most High to give you when you draw your feet up into the bed?
Right.
Or in this world, if you refuse to go to work and you're healthy. Notice I keep saying the word healthy enough to work. Some of us have ailments that'll prevent us from working, but you should be getting a stipend from the so-called spiritual welfare system in all nations. Shalom, y'all. Shalom, fam. So y'all have to understand, spiritually, y'all, if you ain't gathered nothing, ain't nothing gonna be waiting on you.
Right.
You think you gonna stack up spiritual chips and they're based off the law, and you saying the law is tampered with? What money you got in the bank?
Nothing.
You overdrawn
I was just
again.
going to say that, yeah.
You're writing bouncing checks
In
all the
itself.
time. Look here, it's a shock to you if they say approve. What? Yeah, you get out of there before it start beeping at you again. Approve. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's get some more.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
Oh, how comely a thing is judgment for gray hair, and for ancient men to know counsel.
Right.
Oh, how comely is the wisdom of old men, and understanding and counsel to men of honor.
See, so that's a different than the old fool that don't. Y'all heard the difference in that? You give counsel to the young brothers and the young brother. Boy, look, it could get dangerous up in there for you if you make that your life.
Right.
You got to soon. It's like a man that's 50 years old and all he talk about is when I was 25. He's lost how many years?
25.
He's lost 25 years. He has nothing from 26 to 50 to talk about. Boy, I used to run them, dog. Boy, I had that 72 Chrysler. Boy, I had.
Yeah.
All you got is boom, boom, room tails. Like in the movie Life. Boy, I had. Man, I remember when I used to is a rooster that don't crow no more. I used to. Nobody care about you what you used to do. A rooster can't crow no more when he get old. Ain't nobody waking up, is there?
No.
Let's get some more.
Verse 6.
What's up, Skinny?
Boy, Boy, that shirt kind of scared me for a minute. I'm like, what do you got on that shirt? Verse 6.
Yeah.
Much experience is the crown of old men.
See, much experience makes the crown, not just because you're older. You old with experience. You give shortcuts to things. Go ahead.
And the fear of Yah is their glory.
What is their glory?
The fear of Yah is their glory.
When you get old and the fear of Yah is your glory, you're on the right path. Because you've heard the conclusion of the whole matter. Do what?
Fear Yah.
And do what?
Keep the commandments. Verse 7.
Yeah.
There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy.
And here we go.
And the 10th I will utter with my tongue.
Yeah.
A man that hath joy of his children.
See, and we're talking about true biblical love and happiness. A man that do what?
Hath joy of his children.
See, when you make doctrines that I want a woman, if she got children, send them to her father. That type of stuff. Now the mother has no joy in her children. You know, when you make up doctrines like this where you start to eliminate children and move them around like pawn pieces on a chessboard, playing your game. Go ahead, read that again.
From the top or?
No, just that.
Just that one?
Yeah.
A man that hath joy of his children. And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies.
See, if you live to see the fall of that, that's a great reward. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding.
Of what?
Of understanding.
See, so now that's another problem for these sect trippers. Should I choose a wife that don't know the Bible? Or should I get one that has understanding in the Bible? I'll choose the one that's like Curly Stooges. She's a knucklehead. That's the one I want. You know you sect tripped.
Right, no doubt.
When you throw that out there and you ask somebody, should I get a woman in the word or out of the word?
No question.
It don't make sense, do it?
Not at all, man. If I'm serving the Most High, why wouldn't I want a woman who's already somewhat knowledgeable about that? And then we'll grow together in that, as opposed to a numbskull who thinks you're a witch.
It's like still got holy on your Bible and saying it's tampered with. How you gonna teach me from it and you don't believe it's holy?
Right.
How you gonna get a woman that don't know the truth and then expect her to be Proverbs 31?
Right.
And I'm not talking about overtime in the time of a marriage. They're expecting this in 6 weeks.
We's married.
We's married. Let's get some more.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding, and that hath not slipped with his tongue, and that hath not served a man more unworthy than himself.
You gonna serve a hireling?
Woo, boy.
I can't do it.
You an old man, got grandchildren, and you chasing a hireling? You ought to be shamed.
Right.
Your old fool that's doting. You think you can get it back?
Right.
You think them young women is around him? Them young women is like you? No. Because you done dyed your hair black and your eyebrows and your mustache black. But if you didn't die in them secret places, them tenders gonna know you ain't 25. Because it burned down there to put dye. From what I hear. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
Well is him that hath found prudence, and he that speaketh in the ears of them that will hear. Oh, how great is he that findeth wisdom, yet is there none above him that feareth the Most High. But the love of the Most High passeth all things for illumination.
For what?
For illumination. He that holdeth it, whereto shall he be like?
See, right there. We can hold that and we can move on. Yo, because you could bring problems to yourself and expect them to work themselves out.
Yep.
This scripture ain't like that. And it sure don't allow you to do what Adam did and hide your transgression in your bosom. Like Job said. If I hide my transgression in my bosom, like Job did, then the Most High take my breath away.
Right.
11. 12, we go 12.
Let me get back to it. Read it for me, Zed, please.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love.
What is the fear of the Lord?
The beginning of his love. And faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him.
That's right.
Give me any plague,
Right.
but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness, but the wickedness of a woman.
See, which is both the same thing, a plague of the heart.
Yep.
You know, but when you make a decision and you keep going to the wicked woman's store, you're going to get the plague of the heart. And that be the only thing you talk about. You don't have any other doctrines talking about how to build a church, how to bring the youth to this level. What does it mean of the fruits of the Spirit? You have no classes on this. All your classes on is the old fool that doteth. You don't teach anything else. That's how you know. Not only that, you start making wardrobe old fool that doteth wardrobe. What you got right there? Look, slacks with knee pads in them.
They used to call them tuskins.
Yeah, jeans with a old-end pin. What you got right there?
And the world has changed right now. As we sit here and go through these scriptures, we're actually in that time of what we read through the class.
Yes, sir.
Because they got stores open now that cater to witches. If you want, they sell spell kits. Right? Yeah. If you want to put a spell on somebody, stuff like that. Like it's open.
Well, it only works on those that are not grounded in this word.
That's right.
Because y'all can believe those of those sects are trying to cast spells on us.
I'm sure.
But it don't work. It's just pounding back on them. It can't work. It bounces off of them. It's like Balak, the warlock. Balaam, the warlock, told Balak, you can't curse this people. You can't put no roots on them. The only thing you can get them is in fornication. And that's why their doctrines, the first thing they do is come with fornication. They snatch the curtain back. Take a look in that. You like what you see? It's like that Rush Hour with Chris Tucker when they snatched the curtain back and it was all them Chinese women back there. That's what they promised them. They snatched that curtain back. Then they snatched back the curtain of fear of the Most High. No, close that up. Close it up. Let's read some more. Go and finish that out then. Because we can't get into it, don't finish. Go ahead.
Finish the whole chapter?
Yeah?
Verse 14.
Yeah.
And any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me. And any revenge but the revenge of enemies.
See, give me anything but that. That's why the scripts say you don't have to be a friend, just don't be an enemy.
Right.
See, the doctrine we practice don't allow us to be enemies to nobody that where you have to check and see if you can go any place. We don't have to do that. Because we ain't trying to be nowhere that don't nobody want us around.
There you go.
So we don't create an enemy for ourselves that when somebody see us come, they're like, here this nigga come. What's up, man? And how you stay there knowing here that nigga is. You know that's your t-shirt got it on.
Right.
Here come this nigga.
I'm
you
this
wearing
nigga.
Right. I'm this, what you said.
This nigga. Just have that on your head.
Just right here. At least
Yeah.
let us know up front.
Right, this is him.
We can put some guards on him. What else we got?
Verse 15.
Yeah.
There is no head above the head of a serpent.
Right.
and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy.
There's no head above the serpent. I don't care what doctrine you go get. The father of them is Satan, the devil.
Right.
Revelation calls him that old serpent, and the devil, and Lucifer, all the names you want to get an adversary. There's nothing above him. He's the father of lies. He's the father of murder. And he's the tree of good and evil that produces rotten fruit and teaches it to people. There's nothing above him. Every doctrine that men are chasing ends up back as him being the originator.
The author of confusion.
The author of confusion. You gonna tell me this tampered with and then try to prove righteousness to me out of it. And then don't use the rules by, and I'm sitting there like, he must be a scholar. No, you a knucklehead.
Right.
You're being plucked up. And you're gonna be told what?
Get the pluck out of here.
Hey, look here. Because the Messiah said, there are going to be many in that day saying, we have prophesied in thy name. What did he say he going to tell them?
Get the pluck out.
Hey, look here, go ahead. Go ahead, bro. What you got, Levi? You going, Pastor Levi?
Levi,
Shalom,
you leaving us?
Okay.
All right. Hurry back now.
Go ahead. What you got back there, Tuba?
DJC know the check got a question. He asked, okay, if my mother and my father are not together or basically not married, and something happened to them, basically they want to make fire.
Are they going to the lake fire if they're not married? If they're not married? Not if they repented. Y'all see, this book is about to put what you've done and you're not doing it anymore. If he's not continually making children and not married, then he has not repented truly. He may have repented because he got caught. But this is what we're talking about, because we had a situation with a question was asked, if a young lady, the mother's out on the road, ain't no father around, and she's starting to look a little promiscuous. And shorts was too short last time I left. I had to tell her she had to change and put on some down to mid-thigh. You can't wear that while I'm going. So just basically what the situation is, should you put on birth control or should you just let her keep having babies? If you say it's fornication with one way, then you have to accept fornication of the other. Because you cannot accept a woman having sex and she don't have a husband. It's a fine line between saying that and birth control. The problem is she's being cast into continuous law breaking because she keep opening her legs and have no protection. That's where we got to start first. We can't start after her and say what sin. Sin is, ain't no altar and ain't no witnesses around saying that she and him are married and here's the parents or here's the two witnesses doing it. If we don't start there first, we're wasting and spinning our wheels. So you select what is possibly or what may be called the lesser of the two evils. It's like if we vote. Who you gonna vote for, Trump or Biden? Look, but if you vote, you still got to have what you're saying. You're accepting in yourself that I'm accepting the lesser of the two evils. What do you want? The door open to Sodom and Gomorrah? Or do you want white supremacy back like it was in the 40s and the 1900s? Those are the choices you make. Do you want the lesser of the two evils? Boy, look here. See, and he said P-L-U-C-K. For any of y'all that hearing him, it's P-L. Not using no other letters. So, y'all, we have to understand this, y'all. Or we're going to find ourselves in doctrine. There's a doctrine called P-H-R-O-G-G-Y. Frog. It's called frogging. But it's a new doctrine out there that these maniacs are teaching with their sovereignty and everything, that they can take over somebody's house while they going out of town and be living there.
Right.
Putting their clothes in the drawer. Y'all look it up. Frogging. P-H-R-O-G-G-Y. Somebody look it up while we continue to talk and read the definition of it. These Negroes are bringing frogging doctrines in. I'm talking about you go home, look, you come back from Tabernacle and there's somebody in there watching TV and they cook. Like you just did when you walk in, they just do like this, like they don't even see you. Anybody get that yet? You see it too bad? Okay. Somebody just pull up frogging real quick and we'll move on. Where we at? Let's finish these verses out because we got to catch up, y'all.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman.
So when we talk about what you would call a wicked woman or why a woman is called wicked is because she's practicing sin. You can't call a woman that says, I want to agree with you, that won't agree with you in wickedness, and then you say she's wicked. So basically you telling me, we married after I split you open, then we tell your parents. If you don't agree to that, then you're wicked. That's not what the Bible says. That's commandments of men. Those sect trippers that teach that. But you can't call what you're a part of.
Right.
You can't say he's a wicked man and you were participating and it wasn't rape. Can you? It's like trying to catch a woman in adultery and they got the man back. Where we at?
Verse 17.
Yeah.
The wickedness of a woman changes her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth.
That's how you're going to know up front. Face will get dark as sackcloth. It's because darkness is developing inside of it. And it changes the countenance. It don't matter how beautiful it changes the countenance on how she look at individuals. I mean, it could be the most beautiful woman in the world, but when she see you coming, it changes the countenance, and now she look like Elvira every time you see her. You're like, wait a minute. And that's why the script say, because the rules are what the rules are, you cannot pound out the weaker flesh. It don't say, man, do this. It say, go to the corner of a rooftop of a house. No,
That's what it says.
it's better to dwell in the wilderness. Get out of there. You can't out-argue. You know why? Because you can't win.
Get away from it.
Because how you gonna out-argue with the weaker vessel like that, and then the point is you're not getting anywhere with it, and then you can't do what you would do if you're arguing with a man. Who gonna pull your hand up like, there is y'all, the champion, the striker champion.
Right.
Tears a woman down to nothing in nanoseconds. Splits her in twain and will go after her mama if it's allowed.
Right.
There it is, the champion.
And you got some brothers that actually counsel other brothers. Sometimes you just need to go inside their head.
See,
That's wrong, man.
see, so when you go inside their head, you know who's coming, and then threaten her to call the police. You better not. That's against God. He's gonna throw you in the lake of fire. Boom, hit you upside the head again. You know, and then they'll be quick to say, what do you tell a woman with two black eyes? Nothing. You done already told her twice. That's their doctrine. Where we at? What you get, brother?
One guy on Facebook Live that was beat his girlfriend. She was in the car and beat up on Facebook Live and just showed her face and everything.
Boy, look here. Like the police ain't come. Shalom, y'all. Like the police ain't come. Where we at, y'all? Let's pick this up, Sam. We gotta get crazy. Yeah, shalom that turn.
Her husband
Shalom,
shall,
Judith.
her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly.
See, because he's been basically beat down, his neighbor's gonna hear it. Man, you got to ask permission to go get the paper again? In front of your friends?
Right.
The paper out there, baby, they just throwed it on the front. Wait, I ain't finished talking to my sister yet. Don't ask me nothing while I'm on the phone. Okay. Yeah. Talking rough on the phone. I told her the other day, I put my foot so far. Hold on, I call you back. Here she comes. Okay. Go ahead, where we at, bro? Finish that out.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her.
So when we're talking about the wickedness of a woman, it means practicing sin. She's practicing. Jezebel was called the wickedness of a woman. If you want to understand what it means, get into to the Kings, I believe it's what, 17th chapter with Ahab, or maybe the 1 Kings 2. But anyway, when you get into Jezebel, that's what it's talking about. Abel had no strength left, none. Y'all, so it's just not saying somebody don't agree with me. It's somebody that's taking control, like 1 Corinthians 11 say. This man has long hair now. Meaning that it's not that his hair is grown length, but he has the hair and the image of a woman. So when you see him, you call him from those things, oh man, he a noodleback. Well, what does a noodleback mean? You don't want your woman with a hard back, do you? She should be the only noodleback. Back should be soft and flexible. Not a man. But if a man be a noodleback, then somebody else got the Levi's on and the timber.
Right.
Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 20.
Yeah.
As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man.
Yeah. Go ahead. And this is the problem that causes it a lot.
Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure.
So, if we don't understand that, give me real quick Job 31. So we'll get some clear understanding, then we'll finish that out. Real quick, Job 31, and we'll see what type of covenant he made with his eyes. You know, eyes are for looking. Don't get it twisted, but they're not for lusting. Two different things, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
It can't tell you to continue to, a woman is born with beauty, ain't been seen before on no other nation, and then you can't look. It don't mean that. What it means is if you look and the first thing you do, 20 seconds after looking, in your mind, you're throwing the rag in the sink already. Go ahead, bro. Job 31. Who got that?
31 and what?
Start at 1.
The book of Job, chapter 31 and verse 1.
What it say?
I made a covenant with mine eyes.
What he do?
Made a covenant with mine eyes.
Now, how many of us want to do that? I'm talking about, can you be true to yourself? Really? You ain't making no covenant with no men. Shalom, like,
Come on, bro.
you're making a covenant with your own eyes. Go ahead. What do you say the covenant is about?
Why then should I think
Why
upon
you walking that
maid?
long way around?
He's making the room.
Oh, he making the room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Showing the love.
Yeah, showing love. Then he gonna come all the way around. Okay, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Y'all make sure y'all get some Elisha.
Yeah.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
For what portion of Yah is there from above?
Right.
And what inheritance of the Almighty from on high?
Right.
Is not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Doth not he see my ways?
What does he see?
My ways?
You ain't fooling him.
And count all my steps? If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot hath hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in an even bout, that Yah may know mine integrity.
That's right.
If my step hath turned out of the way, and mine heart walked after mine eyes, and if any blot hath cleaved to mine hands, then let me sow, and let another eat. Yeah, let my offspring be rooted out.
See, what he's saying, if I continue to have children that bastard slip, I made a covenant with my eyes so I just won't look at women. And the first thing I think in my mind is sexual intercourse with them. I ain't thought about meeting her family. I ain't thought about nothing. This the first thing I think about when I look at her. He say, if my eyes do that and it comes down to that, he say, then let all the men have my woman. And let his friends join in. Let them pull a train on her. This is what Job's saying about his eyes. He made that covenant with his eyes. Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 9.
Yeah.
If mine heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon
Y'all
her.
see that, y'all? This is what Job is saying. Y'all, this the covenant I made within myself. So I don't go left field.
Right.
About a woman. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
For this is an heinous crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is an iniquity to be punished by the judges.
Now hold it down. Go back down to 31. We're just going to skip to 31. Y'all read all in between. That same Job 31.
Verse 31.
Yeah.
If the men of my tabernacle said not, oh, what we had of his flesh, we cannot be satisfied. The stranger did not lodge in the street, but I opened my doors to the traveler. If I covered my transgressions as Adam.
If I did what?
Covered my transgressions as Adam. By hiding my iniquity in my bosom.
See, by hiding my iniquity in my bosom. Y'all, what happened in the garden ain't about a physical eating contest. It's Hosea 10:13. You have eaten the fruit of lies. It's Matthew 7, Matthew 12. A tree is known by its fruits and what it produces. He said, if I hide my transgression like Adam, we're only talking about Adam's portion and what happened in the Garden of Eden. Some men say that Adam never sinned. But we can't explain Genesis 3:17. That's a punishment, ain't it? Or is it righteousness?
That's a punishment.
Because you're being punished about something. You're now eating from thorns and thistles. You used to eat from good crops. Now you ain't got no pesticides and nothing to ward off, natural pesticides, to ward off the bugs from eating your plants. Thorns is producing, so you got to pick through thorns to get to the good part of the meat. That came because of something you did. Those punishments just don't come on you out of the blue. But the first two that's involved with the crime in the garden has already been punished. What you got, bro? Hold on. Time to go there. Go ahead, Tom.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13.
What is that?
He that covereth his sins shall not prosper.
What's going to happen?
He that covereth his sins shall not prosper. But whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy.
See, you got to forsake it, and then you'll have mercy. That means you can't be sorry because you got caught. That means I'm just going to do it again.
Right.
When opportunity presents itself. I just won't get caught that time.
A little more careful.
Boy, a little more careful, but you can't be careful. Let's read some more. Theo, sorry about that, Theo. Go ahead.
I said, I think Adam's crime, sin was that he didn't guard the commandment like he was supposed to. Most High gave him the responsibility of guarding the order of the garden. And instead of asking questions, he had to ask one simple question: where did he get the fruit from?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all he had to ask.
But he didn't. He just allowed his love for her to overtake him and just follow.
Right.
He should have been the final guard.
Yeah.
Between
Absolutely. And that's what he was punished for. He said, the woman you gave me, she gave it to me. He said, but what did I tell you, player?
Right, exactly. Right.
You didn't do nothing to stop her. You gonna pass the buck.
You didn't correct her, you didn't stop her, nor correct her. You just feel
Not only that, but you was smiling
right when she was telling you.
when she was telling you.
Was that a Newport she was smoking?
Boy, look here. The satisfaction is only 2 or 20 minutes, and then it's over. And then you got to figure out, how do I cover my crime?
Right.
I got to start making up stuff now.
Where that leaf at?
Right.
Boy, look here. Where we at? Where that leaf at, boy? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You want some more of this?
No, yeah, did you finish that 31?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
go ahead. Let's get back into that. Finish on out that Sirach 25, because there's something very important in verse 22.
Sirach 25, verse 21.
Yeah.
Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not by pleasure.
See what it's saying, y'all? It ain't nothing wrong with looking at a beautiful woman, but when you stumble at it, when you can't, if you driving and you see something and then you just like this, boom! It took your attention away from something way more life responsibility of preserving life, because you don't know who in front of you when you look back around. How you gonna look to the, ain't no mirrors over there. I mean, you looking over there and driving straight. Look, you know how you are if you got a driver that likes to look back in the back seat and talk. Hey man, we gonna stop over there, and you just be doing like this. And they turn back around. And then they look back again. And then when we get over there, you have to keep doing like this. You can't drive like this. No. And then you start doing that yank drive. Well, you just ain't paying attention, then you yank it back. And everybody in the car keep doing like this. Because you're not paying attention to the road. And you have to keep doing yank driving. Yank yourself back in the lane. And everybody yank with you. Boy, that's a long trip. I don't care where you go.
Right.
If you going to Six Flags, it feel like you done drove to California. Boy, you be so tired you can't ride nothing. You like, shit, I already been on the roller coaster. On the way out here. Where we at?
Verse 22.
Yeah.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
See, now that's the problem. That's 1 Kings 21 I'm talking about, of Ahab. It's a problem if she maintains. It's not helping out like a help me. What we're talking about is maintaining.
Like if he didn't have a job, she'd take care of him all the way to the bottom.
Well, he may have lost his job, it's a difference, but he's looking for another. I'm talking about maintaining mean what a man needs, standard things that he must, as a man, present himself to a woman. If he can't buy deodorant, that's going to be a problem. Because he can't be talking to you like this. Because he can't, all he can do is just say hi like this. What's up, dog? Because he's musty under the arms. If you can't buy deodorant or your own drawers, it's a problem if she has to maintain those natural things for life. It's like a man having to purchase a woman monthly products. She has to know when that time coming better than you did. There ain't no, I tried to get him on his feet program. He must be on his feet to be a husband. You can't maintain him up into that status. He gonna be like a dog off the chain as soon as he get good shoes on. Good deodorant on, keys to a car that don't belong to him, he's gone. Ain't coming back. If she maintains, the key word is if, because it gets down to the point where she doesn't see no due benevolence on his side. His benevolence is always after midnight. What you got back there, sis?
Just think that's what we baby boy.
Baby boy, perfect situation. He's going to turn into a baby boy.
Came in the kitchen with a dude in a naked.
Boy, look here, you want some eggs?
Right.
Perfect example, sis. Let's read that, finish that on out, y'all. We got a couple we need to get at. Go ahead.
Verse 23.
Yeah.
A wicked woman abated the courage, maketh an heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. If she go not with thou, go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go.
See, the key is, if you ain't got no certificate of marriage, you can't give a bill of divorce. You can't give no bill on a text message. They don't believe in getting a wedding certificate, but they have divorce certificates, racks on racks. They got bands of divorce certificates. They just go through them and pass them out. They don't order marriage certificates, they order in abundance divorce certificates. See, the Most High gave us a marriage certificate called the Ten Commandments. And it was a wedding ceremony at the altar when Moses brought the law. Do y'all agree to the commandments of God to join in this marriage? And we said yes, and he sprinkled us with the pure blood of the heifer, like breaking the hymen of a woman. And then when Israel tripped in Jeremiah 3:14, he said, I had to divorce y'all. But if y'all straighten yourself out in this separation time, we'll renew our vows. But this doctrine only has divorce certificates. Where are the marriage certificates? That's all we ask. And they should be public notice. It should be to the public notice.
They say the bed sheet is the...
Boy, look here. Yeah, they like to go there, but that was just to prove a virgin. Let's get some more, y'all. Where we at? We finished that? Okay, y'all, let's get right back into it. Biblical love and happiness, y'all. We just read what makes a man happy, what makes the Most High happy when a man and a woman agree together.
Right.
So, just a question. So it says you can let her go if she cut off shoes on the way. So, like, say for instance, you got a woman or something to wife it up, and she keep burning your chicken.
Yeah. See, if we have real quick, Matthew 19:9. Look, it ain't a wild question because that's what Moses said. He said the only reason that divorce came into y'all program is how y'all would dictate to the women. You wouldn't divorce them if they did something. You just had them hanging on. So real quick, Matthew 19:9, because he tells us this is the only way you can divorce. You knew she couldn't cook when you met her. Look, is every time you say what we having or what you make for dinner, she said reservations, you know. Well, look here. But it's men that know how to cook. Isaac cooked. Rebecca knew how. She knew how he liked it. But Isaac used to cook. Jacob cooked. Yeah. Elisha cooked. I'm going to cook well. I don't know how one bag of rice will feed everybody in there, but he can cook. And a chicken breast is broken into 300 pieces. I don't know how, but he can do it. Yes, sir. And everybody eats that's around. Let's get some more. Where we at? Who got it? Matthew 19:9, real quick. Y'all there? Y'all want to flip a coin? See who's gonna get it?
I get it.
Go ahead, Elijah.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 9.
Yeah.
I'm going to start at 8.
Okay.
7.
Yes, sir.
They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so.
Right.
And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication.
Except it be for what?
Fornication.
See, this kills anybody that's saying there can't be no divorce or a woman can't divorce. It's saying these are the rules. If fornication is involved, if they're into esotericism, if they're into tarot cardism, if they into horoscopeism, if they into anything of Deuteronomy the 18th chapter, then read some more, Elisha.
Except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, doth commit adultery.
So they were putting them away because they couldn't cook. Most High say if they go hook up with somebody else, that adultery on you, not that woman.
Better eat that
You knew she couldn't cook.
Better eat eat it.
You know that wasn't no soup, that's hot dog water. You know she can't cook. You know she can't sew.
Hey, she made hot dog water too.
Look here.
She got some skill.
No, boy, ain't nothing on the planet tastes like hot dog water. Apparently you ain't sipped hot dog water. I don't know what makes people taste hot dog water. You know, it's people know what hot dog water tastes like, ain't it? I ain't the only one. But it ain't nothing on the planet that tastes like hot dog water. Boy, look, you got to taste it to know what I'm talking about. Like ain't no death smell like a human death. And I ain't smelt it at that level yet to where they say it locks in your mind and never leaves.
It be in your nostrils.
The hot dog water?
No, well that too. That'll be in your throat.
A dead person smell. Death. Man, that's hard to get rid of, boy. It take at least a day or so to get it out of your senses.
So that's what they were doing. Every other thing, the wicked woman. You had 15 marriages and you got 16 divorces. One of them is against the Most High because you keep breaking the rules. And then you keep going to the wicked woman's store. So that don't work. So now you drum up something. Should I take a woman that don't know the word? Catch them fresh.
That ain't fresh. That's
Right. So this is what I'm talking about. It keep going around and you're finding reasons to get rid of them when you know what the reason is. It's you.
You the problem.
You the dog, nigga. It's like on that Soul Man. Bernie Mac and Samuel. When he you the dog, nigga. Where we at?
That was it.
That was it. So y'all, we see here why Moses allowed that. He said, because you was dogging the women out. Then you tell them they can't come back to get no more studying. So you send them back out there to the wolves that's out there to pick up your leftovers. So he said, except it be this, you better prove she like this from the scripture. She's got spiritual fornication or she's into some fornication while she with you, and you better not be nowhere involved. If I find you hiding your transgressions in your bosom, you gonna get it, not her.
So if you divorce a woman other than what you said about her unfaithfulness,
Spiritual
any other reason,
fornication.
if you put her away, any other reason, whoever she get with gonna be guilty of adultery with that woman, right?
You won't.
You will be a gift.
Not her. Because you allowing your flesh to have fun. Now you're in a spiritual threesome. See, the Most High ain't gonna allow us just to do that. That's why the law is under the order of Melchizedek. Male, female, rich, poor, free or bond. Don't bring no old way here or some new way you done figured out how to continue your old food that doeth. And all you have to do is watch it. They're going to have this same program. And they'll be 50 plus years old running the same game. They're not hard to find because they're going to expose themselves. It's going to be a trail. What you got back there, Thomas?
I was at Baltimore and I walked in and I saw an elder that I always got to hear when I walk in, right? So we standing there chopping it up and everything, and something sounded where I turned away, right? I turned around, he was gone, and I looked, and there was a young lady pushing the car, a buggy, right? She worked there. She was pushing the buggy out to the little by the door where all the cars were. He just holding on the buggy there.
Was it smile like that, Thomas? Showing all them.
I looked at him, I was like, boy, I can chop you in your throat. It was shameful, man.
You must have saw jaw teeth and wisdom teeth that was all showing he was smiling.
I saw the tonsillitis thing.
Y'all, it ain't hard, y'all. It's not hard. But when you go into something knowing it's a possibility, then that leaves no room for finger pointing. If you come into this Bible knowing it's tampered with, Who you gonna point a finger at but yourself?
Right.
Because when you usually point the finger, it's 4 pointing back at you. Because when you usually do like, or 3 at least, it's you. Well, these 3 pointing back at you. Them pointing back at you. It's more of you. That's why I say, oh, the part they hate is a wicked woman is given to a wicked man as a portion.
Yep.
Not all of it, just a portion of your wickedness. I'm giving you her for that portion. So whatever she's doing to you, that's your portion. It's for you. It's the gift you wanted. That's your present. Let's read some more. Let's get right back into it, y'all. We got to get caught up. 2 John. Once again, y'all, we're talking about biblical love and happiness. We're talking about the last chorus of the song of Al Green. Praying together. Singing together. Staying together. And then, y'all, we're going to finish up with the moments. You youngsters thinking Stacy Lattisaw that wrote that. I was a group called The Moments. I found love on a two-way, on a, what is it? Two-way street. And where I end up at? Lost it on a lonely highway. You can't serve the devil in the Most High. You on a two-way street. You going to end up on a lonely highway. Let's get it, y'all. Real quick, y'all. Let's speed this up. We're in the 4 o'clock hour. 2 John all. Who got it?
2 John, verse 1.
Yeah. No, we're going to 2 John before Revelation.
Yeah, 2 John.
Not regular John, 2 John.
It's only 1 chapter.
Only a few verses, y'all.
You ready? The 2nd epistle of John, verse 1. The elder unto the elect lady and her children,
Revelations 12. Go ahead.
whom I have loved, who I love in the truth. And not I only, but also all they that have known the truth. For the truth's sake, which dwelleth in us, and shall be with us forever. Grace be with you, mercy and peace from Yahweh the Father, and from the Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, the Son of the Father in truth and love.
What is he?
The Son of the Father in truth and love.
So John ain't changed from what was told to Peter in Matthew 16, is it?
No.
He said, who do men say I am? He said, some Negroes talking about John the Baptist. Got some Negroes in New York talking about some King David been resurrected. Some Negro claim he's the 3rd in heaven. He said, who do you say I am?
Right.
He said, you the son of the living God. But they won't go with that. They won't go with the conversation between the two. You know where they go? Over here, people say right here, his father named Joseph. And you look at them going to that. And if you get intrigued by that, instead of listening to the people that's directly involved, who is it better to hear from?
Right. And I mean, when you have this right here before you, everything he's reading right there telling you the Son of the Most High, how can you even
The key is,
confuse
why
that?
won't you mention it and explain it?
Right.
See, that's what you have to do. See, we can explain why the people call Joseph his father, because Joseph the stepdad. You naturally think that's the father. Some men don't find out that wasn't their real daddy until that drunkard at the family reunion tell him. Yeah, boy, yeah, you may have a good job, but Earl ain't even your real daddy. Henry your daddy. Boy.
Henry like,
What? Let's get some more. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
I rejoice greatly that I found of thy children walking in truth.
What did he find the children?
Walking in truth. As we have received a commandment from the Father.
See, walking in truth as a commandment from the Father. Not partial commandments.
Right.
Not commandments of men, but the commandments that he gave Messiah to his disciples. Let's read some more.
And now I beseech thee, lady, not as though I wrote a new commandment unto thee, but that which we had from the beginning.
What he say? He didn't write nothing new, is he?
No,
what's this new doctrine? We got something new. That's the old way.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't writing nothing new to y'all. You get what Adam them got. How old is that? 6,000 to 12,000 years old. The only thing before Adam is the fall of Satan. There's no head above the Satan. So if you got any doctrine before Adam, you got Satan's doctrine, no matter how you slice it. Let's read some more.
But that which we had from the beginning, that we love one another. And this is love.
What he say that we love what?
One another.
We had that in the beginning, y'all. It ain't changed. Ain't no new way to love. If you think you can love somebody that's chasing wickedness and you call it brotherhood, that's some new doctrine you made up. That ain't what happened in the beginning.
No.
Let's read some more. Hold on, Tommy. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And this is love.
And what is love?
This is love. That we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, you should walk in it.
So he tells us what love is. He says the commandment from the beginning. That you love your brother. If you love your brother, you won't set stumbling blocks in his way. If you love your brother, you won't leave him out to dry and become a hireling to him. You know he falling, but you say, that's his problem. He should have practiced and not let the clock run out on him. What you got back there, bro?
John chapter 15, verse 12.
What it say?
This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. John chapter 15, verse 17. These things I command you, that ye love one another.
That we love one another. Now we need to read how we do that. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
For many deceivers are entered into the world.
What is out there?
Deceivers.
Many of them. Many means more than the majority. Out there. Y'all, we have to be careful. There's many deceivers. They're not a handful. They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Let's read some more.
Who confess not that Yahweh Mashiach is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist.
See, this is a deceiver and an antichrist. Ain't no need for us trying to figure it out no kind of way. It's a deceiver and antichrist. Let's read some more.
Look to yourselves that we lose not those things which we have wrought, but that we receive a full reward.
See, don't count all the work you done put in this book. And just let it be snatched away from you.
Right.
Plucked up like the parable sower in Matthew 23. Fell on good ground for a while, but then it got hot out in these streets.
Yeah.
And you folded.
Cares of the world choked it out of.
Cares of the world choked it out of you. You want to be back part of the world. You want to be with the in crowd. Go ahead.
Like the nations. Verse 9.
Yeah.
Whosoever transgresseth and abideth not in the doctrine of Christ.
In the doctrine of who?
Christ. Have not Yahweh.
That's not hard to understand, is it?
No.
Let's read some more.
He that abideth in the doctrine of Christ, he hath both the Father and the Son.
See, so when you get to double up, how then will I sit at a table with a non-messianic?
It's impossible, bro.
Why would I? Because I'm not going to get the Father regardless of what I'm doing.
And all your works is fruitless.
Right.
All your works become fruitless.
He don't believe what you believe in. So every time a subject come up that contradicts what you and him is in, you have to wave the white flag and say, hold on. This where he explains Mary was not a virgin. Go ahead, Ark. And then there was a roll in the hay in the barn. And everybody said, who is the man there? Joseph!
Like these cats, they claim we run into we teach from the old doctrine. But these the same cats that had a cat that said on video, I will never believe that Christ is the Son of the Most High.
Yes,
He's
sir.
Joseph's father.
Yeah.
I'ma always believe that. I don't care what they think.
Yeah.
Walk right into their building and fellowship with
look
them
here.
and talk with them.
Boy.
And he got it all on film. He said, I will never believe that doctrine, and I'll continue to teach my Joseph is the father doctrine.
Boy, look here.
And walked right into their
Look
building
here,
and sat down and chopped it up with his fellow ops.
Swallow up!
Lunatic.
Let me ask you this now. When you got these Joseph is the daddy people, now does that make them antichrist?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yo, and
Just making sure.
Yes.
it's how they're believing in Christ. People believe Benjamin Carter was the Messiah. Does that count? They believing in Christ?
No, he's a man.
Right.
He's tainted.
Well, what I'm saying is, their Christ is a man too. Because when you get to the nuts and bolts of it, they point back to a man.
Right. Right.
But that's what the scripture says.
But that's still antichrist.
It's still
Because
antichrist.
you saying that Christ is a blemished lamb.
That's what you saying. That's
And he's
antichrist.
But then how can he be received to glory?
That's what we talking about, boy.
That's an oxymoron.
He got to get past bastard stage. He has to be cleaned up as a bastard first. What you got, Nat? What you was saying?
No, the scriptures say those that believe on me as the scriptures say.
As the what say?
As the scriptures say.
That's right.
So not according to how you want to believe or some other book tell you to believe. It's all based on the scripture. And the scripture say born of a virgin.
Yeah.
But that's why he always
that's another Christ.
right. That's why he always point to the prophets and Moses. He said because the prophets and Moses spoke of him. So if you claim you believe the law of Moses, then you will believe him. But if you don't believe him, you didn't believe Moses. You can't believe Moses right.
Right.
Like Moses wrote of him.
Right.
All the prophets wrote of him.
That's right.
That's why he had at the transfiguration Moses and Elijah.
That's right.
To represent the law and the prophets. But to also show when they said, well, we should build three altars. He said, no, I'm preferred before all of them.
All of them.
No, you come to me, not the law and the prophets. I supersede the law and the prophets.
That's right.
Because he was before the law and the prophets. He is the law.
That's
and
right.
the prophets.
That's right.
They're just representatives leading us
That's all
to
they
him.
are, representation on earth.
That's all it is. Get you to faith when faith has come. Yo, if that's not the truth, then Job 19:25, when he say, I know in this body I shall see my Redeemer. If this new doctrine changes that, then Job's hope is lost.
It's gone.
You can't even go into the book of Job ever and teach nothing out of it at that point. Because you just told him he have lost hope. Because ain't no Messiah, ain't no judgment. That's what they teaching. Ain't no judgment day. We don't believe in angels, none of that. We don't believe in no judgment. Not all that's foolishness. Boy, look here, we asking.
They don't know. They have no understanding of what their purpose is. If they do wrong or if they do right. But then you got someone trying to prove a point from books that they don't even believe in.
Right.
How do you gonna go to Paul and prove a point about something and you say Paul is not to be trusted? How you gonna use any of Paul's writings? How you gonna tell the masses that the Bible is tampered with, the New Testament is tampered with, Paul was in conflict with the apostles because he wasn't directly connected with Christ? You don't even know Paul because he was blinded by Christ.
That's right.
So he had a supernatural intervention with Christ.
That makes him an apostle.
That makes him an apostle. Right. However, you say he's not to be trusted and he wasn't on the same accord with the other apostles, then you can't use nothing that he wrote. Nothing. Nothing that he wrote nor Peter wrote. Because Peter said if you wrestle with his writing, you wrestle with all of them.
Right. So the very Peter you talking about is disagreeing with you also. He on Paul's side. He say, but wrestle with his writings to their own destruction.
Before that, didn't he say Paul ought to love brother?
Yeah.
But they say they in conflict.
But see, love is conflict to them because it ain't got no rules. See, the marriage concept to them don't have rules. That's why there's always conflict in the marriage.
Right.
It ain't got no rules.
That's why all their women are dragging women.
Yeah.
After they're done with them.
Yeah.
After they're done with them. They're not dragging women in the process.
Yeah.
After.
Right. Always after. After the oohing and the ah. See, and then they be like David's oldest son that forced Absalom's sister.
Right.
Come on, my sister, all the smooth work. Don't nobody make cakes like you do. You the best cake maker in Israel. And come on. And then she said, wait a minute, you feeling my arm like Ray Charles. You ain't blind. You ain't supposed to be feeling like this. And she said, don't do this thing so wicked, my brother. He told a fancy robe off of her like Joseph made, like Jacob made for Joseph. David made one for her. And he tore that off, and when he got through with her, he told his men, get this skank out of here. Well, his brother Absalom didn't like it too well and avenged that sister. See, these Negroes make sure that ain't no avengers around. Ain't no brothers, ain't no uncles around. Ain't nothing around man folk, real man folk to tell them, who is this?
Right. Right.
And then he has to get you away from that group.
Yeah.
That can question if you maintaining him as a man.
Right. Because
wait a minute.
Once they throw him away, they tell them they're not permitted to go around anyone that's studying scriptures anymore.
Right. He ain't even got no shoes. You maintaining him. He done added leather to your stilettos because he ain't got no shoes and he calling them platform. Them women's shoes. Yeah, Jeremiah, we can get there. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Man. Where I leave off that, brother? 9.
Yeah.
Whosoever. 10. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine.
Y'all hear these stern instructions? Read them instructions again, Elisha.
If there come any unto you.
Any unto you. It don't matter who it is. Don't matter what they flesh made out of. Go ahead.
And bring not this doctrine. Receive him not into your house. Neither bid him Godspeed.
You can't even bid them Godspeed. They come to your house talking about another doctrine. And Godspeed means you tell them after they get to, no, I'm going another way, but God be with you. That's Godspeed. You can't tell no devil worshiper God be with you. He's not going to be with them. Right. You can't offer them Godspeed.
We serve a stern God.
You better get on away around her. You on Mr. Gilmore's property with that bad doctrine. Go ahead.
For he that biddeth him Godspeed is partaker of this evil deed.
Y'all see how every word, every idle word, you can't just say God be with you to get rid of them. That'll come back on you.
Right.
Because if he think you're saying God be with you, then he's heading to the next house.
Yeah, because he thinks
I just got the blessing.
You agreed with him.
I just didn't get the clothes off. Right. But I got the blessing. Go ahead, finish that off.
Verse 12. Having many things to write unto you, I would not write with paper and ink, but I trust to come unto you and speak face to face, that our joy may be full. The children of thy elect sister greet thee. Amen.
Yes, sir. Amen to that. Y'all, so we got clear, hard instructions. If any come to you with any other doctrine, tell them to get going.
Kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
Get the plug going.
Get. Right. Get going. D-E. D-A. D-O. That or don't. Let's get this caught up, y'all. Matthew 9 and 9. Then we go on to 28:9. Y'all, what we want to do, give me the word disciple. Y'all, because this is what the Messiah made us. He made us disciples. That's a following of the doctrine. When you follow the doctrine and then you get a supernatural intervention from the Most High, you move up to an apostle. Because you've had a supernatural intervention. That's why Paul said they walked with him and they cast out demons. And yeah, I met them on the road to Damascus through disobedience. But yeah, I understand that they walk with him. But I'm not going to take a step back. I respect their position. But I'm an apostle too. I ain't no junior apostle. Right. Don't play me and then try to use my scriptures against me.
Right.
And then in the next breath, you using them to prove something.
Right.
Ain't that crazy?
Don't make sense, man.
Let's get some more.
Nat Turner.
Matthew 9:9, Nat.
All right, Matthew chapter 9, verse 9.
What it say?
And as Elisha passed from thence, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom.
Okay, different Jeremiah. Okay. No, I'm talking to myself. Go ahead. I just ain't answering back.
And he said unto him, follow me.
What did he say to him?
Follow me.
So that's why I want to get the word of a disciple. What Christ say. What is the disciple? So anybody look that up real quick?
A learner, pupil, or disciple.
What is he?
A learner or pupil. That's what a disciple is.
So a learner or a pupil of the doctrine makes you a disciple, but it has to be of this gospel. It can't be of no other gospel. You can't be a pupil of strange doctrine. Now you walk in two ways. You're a double-minded man, and a double-minded man is what?
Unstable in all his ways.
He don't know which God he should choose on them points. And for wickedness, he always gonna choose the God of the devil, which is the devil, for his wickedness. And when his wickedness is done, then he call on the God of the Bible to help, because his God of wickedness left him ragged and torn. Now he want to come back. No. I'm sure your other God got a retirement plan for you. Let's read.
Where you want to go? Is that you just wanted that same?
No, I want to read down just a little bit.
All right, I'm going to start at verse 9 again. Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. And as Elisha passed from thence, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom. And he said unto him, follow me.
So what was Matthew at when he found? At work. Matthew was at work. A regular job collecting taxes. He worked for the IRS today. TurboTax, he was at work.
He worked for the government.
Go ahead, bro.
And he arose and followed him.
See, did just left his job.
I quit.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as Elisha said at meat in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples.
Sat down with him and his disciples. They were not disciples. Uh-oh. Go ahead.
And when the Pharisees saw it,
And when who saw it?
the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples, why eateth your master with publicans and sinners? But when Yahushua heard that, he said unto them, they that be whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. But go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice. For I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repent.
So he told them, go learn what that means. I did not come to call the righteous to repentance. Why would I call you to repentance and you're righteous? There's nothing for you to turn away from. I didn't come for you. It's like somebody just sitting in the emergency room, like we say. Number 29, that's me. What's your ailment? Nothing. It's like church people saying they saved already and I know I'm going to heaven. Well, stay at home and watch football. You already locked in. What you going to church for?
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 14.
Yeah.
Then came to him the disciples of John, saying, Why do we and the Pharisees fast oft, but thy disciples fast not? And Yahushua said unto them, Can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them, and then shall they fast. No man putteth a new piece of cloth onto an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up, take it from the garment, and the rent is made worse. So when you try to put new doctrine on something that's old, the garment gonna tear.
Yes, sir.
You can't bring that new booty stuff into this old doctrine. It's gonna tear.
Yes, sir.
And usually it's gonna be your rear end to get towed. Like putting new wine in an old bottle. You can hold that, bro. Y'all read the rest of that for time's sake. Read that on out. We're going right to Matthew 28:19. And y'all, this is what we were commanded of how to have love and happiness. Y'all, look. If somebody told you, look, you're going to war, but you're going to have a good time. All you got to do is make sure you got the connection with the general. When they know you with me, you're going to get a pass. But if you mention somebody else, if you mention Trump, if you mention Buddha, if you mention Pharaoh, you're going to have some problems. Mention me, and you're going to get the pass. It's like them vagabond Jews. They say, Paul, we know. These Negroes over here playing with witchcraft. We don't know you. And you don't even know who Paul is. You just said by him that Julia, I think his name Paul or something. Same thing, that's what we going after. Them demons say, okay, it's time to play. Gonna teach you a lesson. And y'all, it ain't no secret. When you go from this and you playing with Satan and his demons, you're always hiding. You always looking over your shoulder. You got that Rackadooshian compound looking. You can't talk unless it's this. That's what that doctrine is about. Because you're waiting for the hammer to drop at any time. Who want a scared doctrine like that and talk about it's the truth? You scared and you watch him. If you see him at Home Depot, you be, hey man, they'll disappear down the plumber's eye. Jake said, boy, seen him in the grocery store go holler, what's up, Hebrew one? He said he scowled and took that toothpick out of his mouth. He said he disappeared down the cake aisle and wasn't seen no more. He's a known troublemaker. Where we at? 28:19 we're going to start.
All right, Matthew chapter 28, verse 19.
Yep. Hold on, here a few pages flipping. I tell you what. Yeah, go ahead and pick it up about 16. Yes, sir.
All right, Matthew chapter 28, verse 16. Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain where Yahushua had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him. But some doubted. And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power.
Some power.
All power.
Just a bit of power.
All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
Just in New York.
And in earth.
Okay.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations.
What kind of nations?
All nations. Baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
So that's what we were commissioned. I read that last verse.
Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you.
See, and this is what we're talking about, what he commanded. Everything in red is what he commanded. Yes. I don't care you get some later book. If it's not what was written in red, that's what he say and how the baptism will work. You can only preach what I taught you. You cannot go off of nothing later. If it contradicts what I'm telling you, then there's going to be a problem. Go ahead. What else he say?
Verse 20 again.
Yeah.
Well, verse 20. Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world.
So he said, what I taught you, that was 2,000 years ago. He ain't said, and then there shall be another that show up. He has the finishing pieces. They shall taste bland.
No salt.
Like white folks cooking. But no, so I'm just saying, because that's what it tastes like. It ain't got no seasoning on it. And they bitter that they eat it. They want you to eat that bitter root. Boy. And no disrespect to our Gentile. But go ahead. 1 Kings 19 and 20. Because y'all, what we wanted to do is show what makes you a disciple. Right. A disciple have to follow the commandments of Messiah.
Yes, sir.
That 19 and 20th verse makes you a disciple if you keep all of the other things that's written in red. Because they're written in blood, ain't they?
That's right.
1 Kings 19 and 20. Y'all, the only reason I'm going back here is because we see did nothing change with that same old doctrine with Elisha and Elisha. Real quick, y'all, we're just going to run that real quick. 1 Kings 19 and 20 and 21. Yeah, 19, verse 20 and 21.
Y'all on strike or something?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on around here.
I just heard a couple pages still flipping.
Oh, okay.
Alright, First Kings chapter.
You know better than that. That's where ain't going on straight.
Yeah.
Well, look, start at 18 because this is something that the Messiah had to tell Elisha after he killed all the Jezebel priests. Mm-hmm. Jezebel put the hit on him. Not Ahab, that was Jezebel. She had 450 Baal priests. Y'all, this is the level of wicked woman that the script is talking about. This is what it's talking about in Matthew 9. He say, if you have to divorce a woman like this that's in full fornication, that has 450 Baal priests, and they teach whatever she say, not only that, but they trumped up charges against a man to take his property and brought back lives. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, what else to say right there? Y'all read up into that point, but we getting right down to the heart of it.
1 Kings chapter 19, verse 18. It says, yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which have not kissed him. So
Elijah thought he was alone when all them Baal priests were after him. And he said, I'm left alone, Lord. I ain't got no more protection. He's like, you kidding me, ain't you? You think, so I lose you, and then my word goes void. It's the same thing as somebody saying a poison pen of the scribe. Now the word goes void. How do we trust it at this point?
Right.
Who we looking for to correct it?
But it also shows you here that these other 7,000 men weren't men that's running around to be seen of them.
No.
Right. They were living their everyday lives, going to work, taking care of their families and everything. They wasn't running out professing and boasting about who they were.
No.
They were living everyday lives until that time, until the word came and they had to get busy. And they had to either prophesy or make proclamations and things of that nature. But they wasn't running around to be seen of men.
Right.
Ooh, look, I got on my fringes. Hey, ooh, all that. They wasn't doing all that. They were living their everyday lives being regular old men.
Right. And what you'll see here is why this prophet showed up, because he had the same type of deal about his disciples. John had his disciples.
Right.
We just read that. Elijah had disciples, but all of them had to have the same doctrine.
I'm sorry, this is 1 Kings 19.
Yeah.
And what
We
verse?
start about 18. We're in verse 19 now.
Verse 18, okay, 19.
Yeah, we're in verse 19 now. Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
So he departed thence and found Elisha, the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he with the what's that, 12? And Elijah passed by him and cast his mantle upon him.
See, so this brother at work. He with his 12 oxen. What are you doing with 12 oxen? He out in them fields, ain't he? Go ahead. What happened next?
Verse 20.
Yeah.
And he left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, Let me, I pray thee, kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow thee. Let me go bury the dead. Remember they told the Messiah that, and I follow. Go ahead. What else happened? And he said unto him, Go back again, for what have I done to thee? And he returned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slew them and boiled their flesh with the instruments of the oxen and gave unto the people, and they did eat. Then he arose and went after Elijah and ministered unto him. So he went after, but he took care of his home business before he left. He just didn't run off.
No, he went back and made a meal to tide them over for the days that he was going to be absent and everything. He took care of it, went back and took care of the whole household. Then when he went on to finish his mission.
Same thing. Y'all, so we have to understand, but the Messiah said, let the dead bury the dead.
Right.
But this alive, well, they still got to eat. Peter had to make sure his household was right. Peter was married, and his mother-in-law lived with him. He ended up going back home. He didn't go on no compound. He went back home to where his wife was after his mission was through. They had their own cribs.
But now let me ask you this, right here in 21, where it says he returned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slew them and boiled their flesh with the instruments of the oxen and gave it unto the. Where was the priest that was supposed to come and do this thing and before they ate and all? Come on, man. I mean,
it ain't there.
It ain't there.
You don't need it to be there. Because this 1 Timothy 5, he got to make sure he's not an infidel.
Right.
He's got to go before I run off. I can't just tell y'all I done run off.
Right.
That's what we do around here. I'm going to get a loaf of bread, baby. And I ain't seen him in 15.
Right.
Show back up at the graduation. With the bread.
There's a line at the
But look here, both the ends gone.
But the thing is, he performed his duties as a righteous son.
Yeah.
He took care of his parents in the household, and then went and completed his mission.
Then became
his
a disciple.
His parents weren't dead.
No.
His people weren't dead. So it was, it was like manner of let the dead, but he still had work he had to complete. He had to still take care of his parents.
Right.
It says when your parents become of age, you take care of them.
Right.
That's what a righteous son does. And so he did a righteous act, went back and made sure his people were taken care of, well fed before he went on and did what he had to do. Because it doesn't say whether or not he was the only child or not, or anything of the nature, or if he was the eldest child, in which he had the responsibility of taking care of the household. But he went back and he took care of his mother and father. He said, I got to go back and take care of mom and pop first before I can make sure they good and settled before I can finish this mission.
Right.
However, he went home, did his hospitality work, and then came and ministered unto his mentor. It said he came back and ministered unto Elijah.
And right back, but see,
came back to be a servant unto his mentor too.
And see the difference in the war, the Messiah he said, let me go back and bury my parents.
Right.
Like they dead already.
Exactly.
It's judgment time. It's resurrection. These people are still alive. That's why he's eating with the Pharisees. He's eating with the publicans and the sinners. Because he's saying a well man don't need a doctor.
Right.
Why a living dog is better than a what? So that's what he's telling them at that point. Look, they dead. Ain't nothing you can do about that. It's judgment time. You got to roll with me now so you get marked in the book.
That's right. That's right.
If you don't roll now, is like the rich man. Give all you got and roll with the king. You want to see true riches, but it say he had many riches. And he went away sorrowful.
Right,
Crying.
snotting.
With riches.
And then the other thing is Elijah is not the son of man.
That's right.
He's not the one who can give salvation, bring salvation.
Let's get it, y'all. Let's speed this up while we got 20 minutes. What you got, Emo? I'm sorry.
Question real quick. I'm not going to be long. So what do we say about the people that put their parents in the nursing home these days?
Well, look, right now, 2 people have to have a job to even survive today. But if you not nobody at home, because they still can't be at home by themselves and got dementia.
They need care.
Because they're going to be gone when you get back. Door going to be wide open and they're going to be gone. So you still have to, the problem is putting in a home, is putting somebody in charge of them. Not only that, but even your responsibility of seeing how they doing. You call them, how my mama doing? Well, she's had a good day today and she's had a bad day. Well, give her checkers. She like to play checkers. That'll make a good day. Click up. You're just calling to see if they're doing the work for you. And you're not honoring your mother and your father. You just put them away. It's like white people always send their children to boarding school. And the only reason I'm saying that because they got money. If we had money, we probably send some of ours away to boarding school. Get the hell away from her, because if you start finding army brochures laying next to your pillow, they like, shit, you need to get somewhere and get some money going.
Shit, that's
You wake up again, Uncle Sam.
I got hits all around.
But look at her.
One ads.
One ads. You know. Let's speed this up, y'all.
I had recruiting posters that I ain't even ordered. Right. She your friend put them up on the wall for you there.
Right.
I ain't put that up there.
Uncle Sam looking for you, Uncle Sambo. Let's get it. That was the end of that. Come on, y'all. Let's get this. Let's speed up. John 14:15. We're going to hit a couple quick ones because we got to get into this first. Corinthians 13, and that's talking about charity and how charity makes you happy. If you give somebody something and you angry, it wasn't charity.
Right.
Because you can be angry on the inside, but you can't show it on the outside. Because then that let the world see, you know, you had a problem with when you gave that gift. And we're talking about gifts. And the Father gives the gifts. He said the Holy Spirit is a gift. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to, all you have to do is keep the commandments and he'll give them to you. So they can't be bought or different things like that, y'all. So we have to be clear on what a gift is. And no gifts make you miserable. Not a gift of righteousness that saves your soul. All of the gifts of the Most High are for uplifting. They don't bring you back down. You don't hate the gift of the Most High. The people that hated the Most High's gifts is because it overrode the gift that they were giving out, called hustle. Huckster.
Right.
You look it up, Huckster. A huckster will find, he will profit off of a pandemic. He'll see your illness and profit off of it. It's not really in his mental for you to heal. It's in his mental for your pocket. Because a poor man don't get to go to that doctor.
Right.
You ain't got no money, you don't get this package. Go ahead, sis.
How much money these people made when they invented these masks?
Oh, off the chain, billions of dollars. Still making money off of it. Let's get this sped up, y'all. We ain't got but 15 minutes. Let's get it. John 14:15. Then we're gonna hit Psalm 144, 1-5. We're gonna get into that Sirach. That 1 Corinthians 13, y'all. We're gonna roll this real quick. We just keep Zeb from interjecting. Zeb back. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's on Zeb?
We gonna hear from him today.
Yeah.
Chapter 14, verse 15.
What it say?
If you love me, keep my commandments.
See, that's what Christ asked. If you love me, keep my commandments. It's like we was asking thing. Can somebody just say because they believe in the Messiah, but they don't believe Joseph? He said, Joseph ain't my daddy. Christ said that. People told him your mother and your father was out there.
Right.
But he ain't never openly just told the people, come here, my father Joseph. Out of his mouth we talking. Why do we always go to somebody else?
Right.
Instead of just listening to the person that's breaking it down.
Mm-hmm.
That means you like tale bearing and busybody. Well, no, I didn't ask him. I asked Rufus and them. They said they heard him say it. Well, he's readily available. It ain't like he in another country. Right. Let's just go to his house. And no, don't go. Go see that nigga crazy. See, he don't know who he is.
That's basically what they say.
Okay.
He don't know
who he is. Go ahead. Where we at?
He don't know who his daddy is.
Right.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. Even the Spirit of truth.
Wait, the Spirit of what?
Truth. Whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him. But ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more. But ye see me, because I live. Ye shall live also. So you can hold right there. So we see what happens with the commandments. You're going to live also. They ain't going to see me, but you see me because I dwell with you. I'm always going to be there. And you're going to let me know you know I was there, because you know that the only reason I'm still alive or that happened, that was a supernatural intervention. Mm-hmm. He came and intervened for me when I called on him. And look, and where you call on him at like when that witch riding you, strangling you, who you call on? Jesus. I bet ain't none of them calling Buddha. I bet ain't none of them hollering, Pharaoh! Pharaoh!
But see, now, that's just like you got brothers who get caught up on the name, and we know the names are just a title.
That's all.
Just like right here in verse 17.
Yeah.
It says, even the Spirit of truth.
Yeah.
But that's capitalized.
Yeah.
That's another one of his titles.
Yeah.
He said,
the Spirit of truth.
You. Yeah, he said the world don't know him. You know him, the Spirit of truth, which is the Messiah.
Yeah.
Which is Yeshua.
Yeah.
Which is Jesus the Christ.
Yeah.
Yahushua Mashiach.
Right.
What else do they call? I mean, it's got plenty of names. But his name is this book. It's this word. You understand this? The law, statutes, judgments, and commandments. This is who he is.
Look, in every movie you watch, if somebody doing something stupid, what they say? Jesus.
Oh,
they're like, look, you need some correction.
Right.
But they just say Buddha.
Right.
Muhammad. Jesus, they trying to, it's within them, so that what they're trying to say is you need correction bad. Mm-hmm. And they're actually calling on the Messiah because of your behavior.
Right.
You can't get it together. How you gonna pick up that meat off the grill with your hands and flip it and be steady cooking while everybody waits? You need a fork.
That's your piece of
That's your piece of Let's get caught up, man. Psalm 144, 1 through 5. We ain't got long, y'all. So you don't want none of that with her.
You done licked your finger 4 times. Put him back on that meat. That fire ain't killing them germs.
You're right. Go ahead, Psalm 144.
144 or 44?
144, verse 1 through 5.
This old Boaz. I'm just trying to keep up with it, brother.
Trying to keep up. Looks like you're trying to keep control.
Y'all, and this is what David said was his shield. Wasn't no star of David. Wasn't no seal of Solomon. It came out of the Kabbalah and the Talmud. Let's read it, y'all. Let's get it.
Psalms 144, verse 1.
Yeah.
Blessed be the Most High, my strength, which teaches my hands to war.
Who teaches your hand to war?
the Most High, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight, my goodness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield.
My what?
My shield. And he in whom I trust, who subdueth my people under me. The Most High is what is man? Master, what is man? That thou takest knowledge of him. Or the sons of man, that thou makest account of him. Man is like to vanity.
What is man like to?
Like to vanity.
He's worthless, y'all. He got to die like everybody else. This is what Solomon said after all the riches, after all the kingdom and everything. He said, all is vanity on this side of the sun.
That's right.
Because I got to die. Through all of that, I got to lead this with my sons who's scrapping now in that war. Rehoboam and Jeroboam. It's a split going on and I got to leave here. You talking about I didn't split the baby then, but the baby done been split on the back end. Let's read some more.
Man is like to vanity. His days are as a shadow that passeth away. Bow thy heavens, O Master, and come down. Touch the mountain, and they shall smoke.
So you can continue to read where his power is at, but we just want to put in there what we trust in. He's our shield. Because you can't put a hexagram. What you gonna do? Swallow it before you go to bed? I'm gonna fight off them demons, dog. Give me some milk. Yo, we're talking about supernatural attacks. When you wake up and your countenance does show it, and everybody done seen it, somebody just looking like this, you like, man, what the hell is wrong? Man, that dream. Even a crazy dream had you like this. 3 cats pissing fire. You like, yeah, you need some. What's going on, man? First, let's start with what you eat, the last thing you ate, and what time was it? Let's get some more, y'all. 1 Corinthians 13, y'all. Y'all read that. We're gonna get a little homework on that Sirach 7. But 1 Corinthians 13. And y'all, we have to do this to understand what charity is, because you hear people saying charity a lot. I gave. But there's a way you have to give to make sure you don't begrudge your giving. And y'all, 1 Corinthians 12 was the passing out of the gifts. It talks about the gifts and how we one body. That's 1 Corinthians 12, so make sure you go back and read that. Now that you have the gifts, you have to now apply them a certain way so that Satan don't get you to misuse your gift. Like beautiful singers that sing sin. Everybody dying waiting on Beyonce's new album, but it's loaded with songs of sin. There may be one that they give her to say, this will put you back in good grace, possibly. But the other ones, we want to read about all the drama in your life. Go and tell them about what really happened in that elevator with your sister and your husband. Write a song about that. People want to know. But they showed a picture, and Beyonce and her sister was 20 feet out the elevator, and Jay-Z was on the elevator like this, holding his jaw still. She must have slapped the cowboy piss out of her. Because when you 20 feet away and you still holding your jaw, you scared to move your hand because your skin gone. That's what he was scared of till he really felt it. Oh, it's still there. Go ahead, bro. Where we at? 1 Corinthians 13. Let's get it, y'all. Verse 1.
It's still on me.
I didn't say that.
That's on you, Elisha.
I read 2.
Yeah.
Get ready. Like, don't be the orchestrator like him if you can't do it.
I think you're lying.
Go ahead.
Lying.
1 Corinthians 13.
1 Corinthians 13 and 1. There, Jack and
My brothers.
verse 1.
Yeah.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
So Paul is telling you, we just read about the gifts of tongues in 12. He said, if I have the gifts of tongues and it's not about charity, I'm just a tinkling brass. I'm just making noise. I'm just banging on the table. Who understand this?
We do. We're banging on the table.
That's all it looks. Banging on the table. That's all you get from it. So Paul is not saying I have all these, everything. He's just saying if I had the tongues like this and there's no edification, if it's not to give people true enlightenment and I'm just using it to puff myself up, it ain't charity. I got a gift, I got to give it away as a gift. I can't give it away as, no, you don't know what it is yet.
You don't understand.
You don't understand yet, that's why you ain't got it. No, go ahead, bro, what else to say?
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing.
See, he said if I could remove mountains. So the Most High said, if you have faith, you can do what? He said, if you moving a mountain and it ain't about charity, true charity, what you moving it for? Is it for the gift of God or to put money in your pocket? You move a mountain so they believe you some great one.
Right.
Yeah, he seen them in.
He said, God forbid. That ain't charity. Go ahead, what else to say?
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profited me nothing.
It profit you nothing. You're outside of the commandments. You're doing it to be seen of men. Look, it's like you say, the nation is punishing me for speaking out about the word. And then you take a plea deal. That's not charity.
No.
Because you took a plea deal. If you lay down your life for your brother and you like, shit, put 40 on me, years. But I can't turn my back like Joseph never did. He like, look, I'll have to do the time of you giving me a free case tomorrow. I slept with you and you know I didn't, Pharaoh's wife. And they put him in jail. 12 years he was in jail on a free case. He said, but I'll never, ever damage that gift of interpretation of dreams. Because that's what he would have did if he'd acknowledged that, he gonna get killed anyway.
Right.
At least die with dignity.
Right.
Read some more.
Charity, verse 4. Charity suffereth long.
What does charity do?
Suffereth long. And is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself. Is not puffed up.
See, it don't vaunt it itself like you see them pole vaulters running. Charity don't do that. It don't throw you over the bar and everybody, he went over the top. Charity don't do that. You can't warn nobody I'm finna jump over the bar. Let's read some more.
Verse 5.
Yep.
Doth not behave itself unseemly. Seeketh not her own. Is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil.
Thinketh what?
No evil.
Some evil.
No evil. Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things. Believeth all things. Hopeth all things. Endureth all things. Charity never faileth.
What charity never do?
Faileth. But whether there be prophecy, they shall fail.
Yeah, because we know a Negro out of New York said in the year 2000,
Right.
Christ was coming back, and they up on that roof with them hobo satchels. And the sky didn't crack open.
Not at all.
Go ahead. He didn't say his prophecies. Go ahead.
Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
See, when that is perfect, when just the carnal mindset, when that spiritual teacher of the consciousness come, then we put that away. A righteous man don't need the law. And that don't mean he never sins. But if you know what's plaguing you, if you got rid of 1 Corinthians 6 and 9, the big 9, know ye not that these shall not inherit the kingdom. You got to start there with them felonies.
Right.
Because those are death penalties. If you ain't got them on your jacket, you good. You can walk the rest of those things down. But if you got them big 9 on you, it's going to be a problem, because he said, don't even come to the kingdom looking this way. What you looking in here for? No, this ain't like you used to do on earth. You can't come in here and ain't want it. We're not going to tolerate that, you coming around here and ain't want it.
Not with that.
Not with that.
Right.
Let's get some more.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
When I was a child, I spake as a child.
Yeah.
I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
When you become a man, you put away childish things. Do your wife have to put it on the refrigerator? Remember to take out the trash. Sometimes. Well, you still got some childish things going. You got to straighten them out. You can't keep on stepping on the trash and then just look and then hope it don't fall over on you and you just put that last piece on the top. I ain't got to take it out.
That's a problem in itself.
Go ahead, brother.
For now we see through a glass, darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. But the greatest of these is charity.
See, now about it, faith, hope, charity, these 3, but the greatest of these is charity. If you have faith in Messiah, it's got to be charity. When you instruct somebody, you got to give it all to them. You can't hold back no pieces that make you an hireling, and they have to come to you to get the rest of it. That ain't charity. No, player, you want to deal with the high priest or the school of suckers. You got to get more than that. What else you got? No, you can't do charity like that. You can't make me thirst for what you have, and it was given to you freely as a gift.
All right, Theo.
We good?
Tell your wife, turn that heat down on that chicken. She's trying to cook it too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, brother.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom, bro.
Because you go try to get chicken from them Chinese people, they never cook right. You get rice from them. Where we at?
Matthew 22:34.
Yeah. No, but what we're saying, that last thing, y'all, you know, of teaching, talking about the Messiah went to some strange country and was taught. Look, when he was 12, the top Pharisees couldn't deal with him.
Right.
At 12, they were asking him, how you know your letters like this? That's at 12, he had the magna cum laude Pharisees stumped. They had to go, they're like, where he learned this from? He said, I learned it from my father. And now y'all got a doctrine that say he went over here to Tibet somewhere and learned something when his own Pharisees couldn't deal with him. Teachers that's teaching the rest of Israel, and you say he go out of town to some strange teacher and learn. And he wearing them out.
So he a foreign exchange.
But like now he a foreign exchange student. Now, but see, look, we got John 3 and 3 that where even Nicodemus came to him. He told him, you a master in Israel, you don't know the things I'm telling you? Nicodemus didn't say, well, I didn't get to go over to the foreign exchange class. I didn't get to go. Nicodemus didn't say none of that. He said, you from God. Right. That's where your teaching coming from. I know these Negroes around here. I know them Tibet travelers. I know all them. And ain't none of them doing from you except you come from God. Y'all read John 3, 1 through 3. And see what Nicodemus had to say, the top teacher in Israel. But y'all got some doctrine, he running off over here to Tibet. Learned from age 12 through 18, and then he was somewhere else learning. Under who?
Right.
Boy, look here. But it wasn't our Messiah. Let's get these and close out. We good too, Bob? Yes, sir. Let's get these last two, y'all, and close out. Matthew 22, 34.
Matthew 22, verse 34.
And y'all, we see what brings biblical love and happiness. True charity.
Exactly.
Keeping the commandments. Preaching no other gospel, you going to be happy. Y'all, we ain't got no problems, do we? We don't go nowhere we ain't want to do it. We don't force our way up into the Masonic Lodge, do we? Y'all gonna hear us. Go ahead, let's read, y'all, so we get on out of here.
Verse 34.
Yeah.
We'll start at 33.
Okay.
And when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine.
What were they astonished at?
At his doctrine.
Uh-huh.
But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together.
Look, now they hearing, they gathering up all these click sets. Man, he told the Sadducees a new hat, dog. Man, he woke them Sadducees over, man. Go ahead.
The philosophers. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, saying,
see, they always tempting you with a question. Is sacrifice, something. Or is it taking off a bird wing? You know, all that crazy stuff. Always tempting. What the Messiah say?
Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Most High, thy Elohim, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. This is the first and greatest. That same thing in Exodus 20, ain't it? It starts off that way. Yes, that it is right there on the wall. What else it say, Elisha? And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. See, if you do them 2 great commandments, you're already doing them 10. The first 5 is loving the Lord with all your heart and soul. The next 5 is treating your brother as yourself. It's still 2 within the 10 when you sum them all up together. Let's read some more. Verse 4. Yeah. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Hang all the law and the prophets, y'all. Y'all read the rest of that for time's sake. And you see that the last verse of that say, no man was able to ask him any questions. Right. After he bust their heads to the white meat. Y'all real quick now, let's get that Matthew 7:13. Y'all, we're going to close on out. Y'all, these the last days. And it says, many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. But be ye not deceived. If you stick with the gospel, it's hard to be deceived. They have to trick you enough to make you doubt. No. But let's get some more. You only doubt if you ain't did no studying and you ain't got no faith.
Right.
Right. And that's the main thing is the faith.
Look, if the teacher been telling you a test coming and you ain't studying, when they say, guess what, it's test time today, you're like, Lord have mercy. Bestow the, no, it ain't happening. You may be forced to do what I'm doing. And that didn't work too well because he wrote all of the wrong answers and slid them like this. I'm like, yeah. And I left early. Shit. The teacher was looking like, you gone. Take it. Yeah, already did. That's burning. That's a scholar. Shit. He always on the board with them stars up there. No, he told me nothing wrong. But I'm like, well, why he ain't behind me? Never mind. And he erased all them answers and put down the rest. I'm sitting confident. And she passed it around. It was in red, though. But the only grades they put in reds was F's. Right. Let's get some more, y'all. Real quick, y'all. We're gonna close out. Yeah, and with a circle around it. Go ahead.
Matthew 7 and what?
13.
Yeah.
Did we read 22:30? We got that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get that 7:13.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 13.
Yeah.
Enter ye in at the straight gate.
How we gotta enter?
In the straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. See, broad is chasing other books that don't satisfy. Right. That's a broad way. And you ain't read that yet? No, I ain't read it. What I read says finished. Right. So you saying there's a revised version? Something I missed? I read it's finished. Go ahead, what else you say? Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and a few there be that find it. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruit.
How we gonna know them?
By their fruit. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles?
See, so that's what it's asking. Do you gather like Adam did? Or do you gather from the beginning? When you love your brother? Or do you have to gather thorns and thistles like Genesis 3:17 for Adam? Because that's how he had to gather. Because he listened to his wife that listened to the devil. So now, since you don't know how to command, then this how you gonna eat. It's a punishment, ain't it?
Yeah.
Then what comes with punishment? There had to be a sin, don't it?
Yes.
Most High don't punish for no reason, do we?
No.
Let's get it.
Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit.
It's impossible if you stay on the gospel to bring forth evil. It's impossible. Because how you know it is impossible? Because they have to come back and try to confuse you with it. You just stay on the straight and narrow. Nope. No. Nope. Ain't no need you keep coming around here with that. We don't want none of it. It ain't got no salt on it. It's bland. Let's read some more.
Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
A corrupt tree cannot bring forth good fruit. What started in one west cannot produce nothing but them splinter groups that it's got. And all of them pick a gift just like Christianity. And it becomes Hebrew Christianity. This group over here is stuck on baptism. Little Dickie Shepherd. This group over here say they got the Holy Spirit with bumps on the back of his neck and diabetes. This one over here say I'm third in command off of 1 John. They say there's 3 that bear record. He say y'all forgot about me. The chicken savager. I mean, he's at a restaurant. I'm talking about stripping bones and they piled up like an archaeology find. And he's third in heaven. Read some more, bro.
Oh, 19.
We're going down to 23, Elisha. We're going to close on that.
Okay. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven.
So we don't care about you saying Messiah. What Messiah are you talking about?
That's right.
Let's read some more.
Many will say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
See there, so we can hold that, y'all. So what that says is you're on a two-way street. Love and happiness, and where you end up. Or you on that single road that leads to salvation. Or you on that 2-lane highway, don't know which lane you're going to get in. It's like driving in the fast lane at 40. The line backed up behind you. They can get over, it's another, that's the slow lane. You supposed to be over there, but you don't know where you're supposed to be. And then you end up on a lonely highway when the police pull up on the side of you and say, take the next exit.
Take the exit.
Don't take that exit. Because they start driving you down a lonely road, don't they? To that police station, you say, ain't nobody gonna find me out here.
Better pull over right there on the exit.
Yes. And Deb speaking from experience. Y'all, we got the holy feast days coming up, the fall feast. Get into that Isaiah 58, y'all. We cannot have strife and debate at the fall feast. At any feast, y'all. Get into it, y'all. And understand, y'all, we got to love our brother. And love is keeping of the commandments. If you told the commandments have been tampered with, it's impossible to love your brother at that point. Yeah, we set that up. They have their own one too, don't they? Yeah, okay.
All right, family. We're going to get this closed in prayer. And it's with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know Him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King. Long live the King. Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 41st chapter, it reads, Blessed is he that considereth the poor.
Yes, sir.
The Most High will deliver him in time of trouble. Yahweh will preserve him and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth. And thou wilt not deliver him until the will of his enemy. The Most High will strengthen him upon the bed of languishing. Thou wilt make all his bed in his sickness. I say, Master, be merciful unto me. Heal my soul, for I have sinned against thee. Mine enemies speak evil of me. When will he die, and his name perish? And if he come to see me, he speaketh vanity. His heart gathereth iniquity to itself. When he goeth abroad, he telleth it. All that hate me whisper together against me. Against me do they devise my hurt. An evil disease, they say, cleaveth fast unto him. And now that he lieth, he shall rise up no more. Yea, mine own familiar friend, in whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, hath lifted up his heel against me. But thou, O Yahweh, be merciful unto me, and raise me up, that I may requite them. By this I know that thou favorest me, because mine enemy doth not triumph over me. And as for me, thou upholdest me in mine integrity, and settest me before the face forever. Blessed be the Most High Yah of Israel, from everlasting and to everlasting. Amen and amen.
Y'all got a shepherd or two, y'all. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, One World, a worldwide assembly. Thank you for all of the support you continue to, the love you show us, and we'll keep bringing the lessons forth, y'all. We need to get this understanding in this last hour. Shouts out to you, 3D Life, DH. Shouts out to all y'all that continue to support the ministry, y'all. And if y'all got any questions or concerns, y'all shoot those questions and concerns over to God's Warrior 298. Shoot them questions over there, y'all. We study in season and out